Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. Oh, wrestling podcast featuring Matt Zion, Bomber Rap, Scott and Lee, and the one and only Peanut. It's Jobber Radio. Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. It's Jobber Radio. Bitches.
We killed a bunch of innocent Native Americans and now we eat turkey.
A man squats over a woman, facing her feet, and inserts his penis in her mouth. He must endure the balls.
Oh no! Poor Kylie, I'm so sorry.
See what you did?
Oh, come on into the bathroom here and I'll give you a little bit of the bubbly. A little bit of the bubbly.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Jobber Radio episode number 102. We were taking a little bit, I was taking a little bit of a short hiatus. We've had a bigger gap than usual in our episodes, and that's mainly my fault, so I will 100% take blame for that. Meanwhile, we've had these guys ready to go. Lee's been itching to get in here and talk some shit. Lee, how are you doing tonight? Are you ready?
I miss the rains down in Ethiopia.
Oh my God. There it is. Okay. Well, Scott's always ready to get down for some wrestling talk. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any non or somewhat racist jokes ready, so we can move on from there.
That's good.
your problem, pal. Goddamn.
I'm not Southern like you. I'm sorry.
Hey, you guys are both in Canada. You guys can't be Southern at all.
Old school.
So Matt Zion is also here. Matt Zion, I saw you said something on Twitter. You want to talk about the Fiend, so we're definitely going to get into that. But how are you doing other than that? How'd the streams go? I saw you streamed live reactions. How'd those go?
They went good. I just was really drunk, so I don't remember a whole lot from it. But I remember enough.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Lee, you stole my racist joke. You didn't, though. But now I wish I had thought of it. So.
Just a better racist. What can I tell you?
Yeah, but way better racist.
Well, there you go. So we set a good tone, getting things, right off the bat. I guess we should probably start with that because obviously Survivor Series, WarGames just took place. We'll get to that in a minute. But I honestly think one of the biggest things in the whole year is been Jim Cornette. He's fucking popped up in every headline every other week, it seems.
I don't know about that.
And you do, really?
Nobody cares about Jim Cornette outside of the smart community.
Exactly. No, true.
Well, the internet.
One of the biggest things. You mean one of the biggest things to smarks?
You have to pull out of the bubble a little bit. Casual wrestling fans.
Normal people don't even know who he is.
Okay, I guess that's true.
Yeah, you got to pull out of the bubble a little bit there. But
anytime I click on any wrestling tweet ever,
normal people don't do that. Normal people don't care about Twitter online. They don't. All they go is, "Wow, I can't believe John Cena was on TV for like 5 minutes." They don't care about Jim Cornette or know who he is.
Okay, well then
I
guess
you're right within the wrestling
internet
online community. Yeah, within the bubble, Cornette makes a lot of talk. Yes.
Yeah. So
he does it on purpose, though. It's annoying.
So I guess I don't want to go straight out right off the bat just asking this question, but I guess we might as well. Was what he said recently, was it racist? Do you think Jim Cornette is racist? That's the question, I guess.
No, he's not racist.
That's two different questions.
There you go. Okay, perfect. So I guess
he is not a racist. The joke was, but he didn't mean it from his way. And it's an old joke from a time when it wasn't, but it was, but it is. Okay. It's a 40-year-old joke that doesn't work anymore.
The perfect outcome happened. They got rid of him, and to be fair, he is going to cause nothing but problems for any company he works for in this day and age because he makes money being a shock person. Is what he does. He does it on purpose. Now he leaned into the meme years ago.
So he used that exact line in the 90s, and it was fine. But again, this is the 90s. This is pro wrestling. Umaga happened 10 years ago. The joke literally itself, when I heard him say it, because I watched Power when they aired it before they took it down and took that joke out, was literally the line for Trevor Murdoch, big fat Southern guy, who's fun in the ring, but it was, what was the line? He's the only guy who could strap a bucket of fried chicken to his back and ride across Ethiopia on a motor scooter and be okay. The point is, he's a tough son of a bitch. Okay. I saw that as, all right, Ethiopians are starving. Didn't connect.
I see that as it's the chicken. The chicken's
didn't connect the chicken right away. Then I went, oh,
100%
shit.
chicken.
Yeah, fuck.
And I
Because I thought the chicken was like, oh, I mean, he's Southern. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that is in poor taste. Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So Cornette's he didn't get why that could be considered offensive by some people. Interesting to note that probably the majority of people I saw get offended by it were woke white people getting offended for black people, which I do have a problem with. But I'm not saying that was the entire audience of people who were offended, quote unquote, by this. Because they're just looking for something to jump on as well to get him canceled.
Yeah, Mark Henry.
Cancel culture is horrific. I hate it.
Yeah, Mark Henry was pretty, from what I saw, pretty not happy about it, pretty angry about it.
Well, and here's the other thing. When you hear stuff like that, it's like, did they actually hear the comment? Was it given to them in proper context?
Oh, it was given by somebody else for sure.
Yeah. So it's
Did you hear that thing Cornette said? Is literally how we opened.
100%.
Yeah. It's how it is. So
it's just and no, they NWA they made the bad move of not editing it out beforehand because they had it in the can for months.
Yeah, it was shot October 1st.
Yeah, they also made the bad move of not telling Jim Cornette that you need to ex-nay on the racism kind of thing, you know? Like, the biggest problem is that they dropped the ball, Jim Cornette dropped the ball, and they had to make a move and get rid of him. I mean, it just makes sense. So that's where it sits.
Like, Cornette, he had a line, I think, when Drake had his first match, Eli Drake. He said he's slicker than sperm on a gold tooth.
Yeah, I've heard.
No one had a problem. That's honestly, that's a little offensive too. Why would whatever?
That's actually his censored version of that too, because he usually just says slicker than cum on a gold tooth.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. Like that's okay. We're not going to be offended over that, even though that's wow. He even argued it too when he had his whole defense about it, where he's like, I'm not apologizing for the joke. It got dangerously close to the you're not allowed to be funny stuff that's going around now. Yeah, but he said, "Look, it's a joke about Ethiopians who were starving."
Yeah, but it's not. That's funny.
Fucking
the problem
funny.
Too is it's not really funny.
No,
that's fair point. But his argument
wasn't funny back then either.
No,
it's not a funny joke.
Again, his intent was the fact that it's a joke about starving people, and he could outrun them and be okay.
Yeah,
and survive it. And the fried chicken part is of an era of 40 years ago when the joke was told that shouldn't have been brought in, and he could have used anything else, and the joke probably would have had no problem because people weren't upset over the fact that we're saying Ethiopians are starving, because not all of them are. No, it's the fact that he did a racist joke with fried chicken.
Yeah, there were.
You could have changed that to any other food, and you would have been okay.
Other than watermelon.
Yeah,
when any other food.
When he first used the joke, Ethiopia was experiencing a famine. So that and that's kind of like the popular culture, kind of like, oh, you think Ethiopia, you think they're always starving. It's not the same anymore. But here's another thing too. Cornette's pulling this, Cornette's doing this marathon taping session of NWA stuff, and he's like, and he even admitted on his show, I'm pulling out old lines left and right that I remember. And he just used the wrong line in the wrong context, too, because he's not a heel commentator. And that line is like from a heel commentator perspective of like a hacky heel commentator from the 1980s kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he unfortunately, he used it and people took a chance to jump on him for it. And, right or wrong, in doing that, there's probably definitely some people who were legitimately offended by that, and they have every right to be offended by it and go after him for it. Mm-hmm. And the NWA, bottom line, they had to get rid of him. He was dead weight at that point.
You say that. I actually heard him say that they didn't get rid of him. He actually resigned. Like he told Lagana, what the fuck's the guy's name that runs
Dave Lagana.
He
did quit. But
he quit before they got a chance to, because it was going that way. It's like, and Cornette even said, you had this taped for months. No one told me then. Nobody told me after. You had the edit, all this stuff.
Yeah.
If there's a problem with it, let's just move on. If you don't like that happening, it's going to happen again. I'm not going to come back. I'm out.
Yeah.
So
and I'm actually.
And they had to apologize to him twice now, though, too. I didn't know that. Like a couple of weeks ago, he did something else that they had to come out and officially do, like an NWA apology. So if this is him.
It was about
you're going to take it or not.
No. See, it's hard because the other thing was about a suicide. Somebody said that he made fun of suicide or something like that. And that came out.
Yes.
I mean, that was not exactly what went down. That is a lot of the stuff.
That's how it was perceived, and that's the point with him
know.
too. He's saying my joke was perceived for this, but it was perceived in the wrong way, and that's not fair to me.
Sure.
But you don't get to choose if you offended someone. If you offended them, they're offended, and you did it.
It's 2019.
You didn't even mean to, but it happened.
It's true, and it's 2019, and no matter what. He's gonna offend. He's gonna offend somebody, but we're gonna offend people too. It's crazy.
And here's the whole thing: Cornette doesn't have to apologize. Like, he doesn't feel like he has to apologize because he doesn't need the fucking job. He doesn't need the fucking money.
Mm-hmm. Like, he even said that. Like, this was not a revenue stream. This was a bonus thing I did because I love the NWA.
Yeah.
There's no. He's not hurting at all from that. It's just
like MLW. He did it as a favor.
What did hurt is power. Because the taped episode that was on tonight was a complete clip show, and they had the commentator that was with him on a background better than the AEW Dark thing, whatever that is, on an actual background, kind of redoing the stuff to get the matches and segments over, which they must have done in the past week. So
they should have just bit the bullet and went with what they had.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, look, just admit it's taped, whatever it is, and re-edit the lines that are offensive, and it's fine because everything else was good. One line out of 6 episodes.
So here's my question now. Now that he's gone, now that NWA is going to continue without him, do you think this is going to hurt NWA or not affect him at all?
Not in the long run.
I think it will.
It'll hurt him right away because this episode will, like I said, it really throws off the flow.
Yeah,
but also Cornette was awesome on commentary. I loved him on Power, and it
was fine. But I mean, anyone saying that fucking the only reason I tuned into NWA Power is to see Cornette, you're full of shit.
Oh no.
I think it just leaves a bad taste in the mouths of potential people that are going to be jumping on board. Now they just go, I'm over it, I'm out. Same with Impact though. Impact does really good stuff. It's not even the same, not even run by the same people, same company or anything. And yet people still think of it as like, that's that one company that everybody.
Dude, people still call it TNA. It's been 2 years.
True.
100%. Yep.
No, like the one thing that I think about is all the stuff with, I'm not going to watch it anymore. I'm not going to do this. Or even like on both sides, I guarantee you a lot of those people are saying that were so offended and so mad that he said those things. I guarantee you they didn't even watch the fucking Power to begin with.
There was a lot of AEW fans who probably never even tuned into Power. They just heard about it on the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunately as you called it, I think everybody calls it that, but the cancel culture is just crazy with that stuff. But
here's the thing though, it never actually cancels anything. Well, can you name this besides sexual assaulters? Who is actually?
Well, I guarantee you,
God, they always come back. Everybody always comes back from it.
Well, I guarantee you the only reason
at the same level though, I think is what
the only reason that Jim Cornette's gone is because of the outcry and the giant response.
I disagree on that. The reason he's gone is because when him and Dave Lagana or whatever his name is were trying to figure out what they were going to do, I can tell you right now, he freaked the fuck out, hung up on him, and he was like, I guess that means he quits.
Yeah, he did hang up on him.
Yeah, he did.
He confirmed that.
That's what Dave said.
They wanted him to apologize. And he's like, they wanted him to apologize.
Sure.
He's like, why?
But I'm saying
he got hung up on him, and that was it. So, ironically, he canceled himself.
But I mean, he after like two instances now.
It was just time to let him go.
He was going to be gone sooner than later. And honestly, no, I don't believe it's going to hurt the NWA in the long run. They're just moving onwards and upwards. They're weeding out any problems. It's just, this whole YouTube show is working out things for something bigger and better, and that's what they're doing.
And I mean, I will say, just like I think Scott was the one that said it, like Cornette was so fucking good on commentary too while watching Power.
He was a fun part of it.
Yeah, he was a very, very good part of the show. So
I'll miss it, but I'm not going to stop watching it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I'm on the same boat. I don't think it's going to screw over Power or NWA or anything. I think they're going to keep building, but I think it's definitely going to slow them down. I don't know who they're going to replace him with, or if they have already announced that, but
nothing yet. No.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it will slow them down, but not screw them over.
The two guys they got there, Galley and the other guy, they're fine. They can do the job.
Marquez,
they can carry the ball. Marquez, they can carry the ball.
Yeah, they can do it.
Okay.
They're probably just re-recording all the commentary for the 3 or 4 episodes leading up to their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's probably all this delay was. So
Yeah. Although it's going to be like it's going to be like watching a couple episodes of MLW where Cornette was still working, and then they brought Tony Schiavone back on to re-record over him a couple times.
Oh God!
And there was like shots of Cornette at the booth talking, and the commentary was like Tony Schiavone. And
So there's a history of this, is what you're saying.
Well, the MLW stuff was much more amicable. I can't even speak anymore. On better terms, because he was just filling in for Tony Schiavone. That was all. Yeah. He didn't get fired or run off in a shitstorm or anything like that. So.
So I mean, there's a couple like small things that took place before we get to again the pay-per-views. CM Punk is apparently, not necessarily back with WWE, but back in the wrestling realm. What are your initial thoughts? I guess we'll go just down the road here. And like, what are your initial thoughts? What do you think this means? Do you think he'll eventually, come back? This is going to lead towards it, or like, just what are your overall thoughts? I guess Zion, what are you thinking first?
Oh yeah, he's going to wrestle at some point. I mean, it'll be a WrestleMania main event. Like he's already said, like, because I think they asked him some interview, they were like, would you wrestle? And he's like, it just depends on if they're willing to pay. So if they're going to give him
we know that.
A huge fucking payday, yeah, he'll wrestle. But I don't think he's going to wrestle full time. Look at him. He looks like he could care less about this company. But I think he just likes the fact that he gets to talk shit and basically like getting paid to talk shit. Like Fox, apparently they have a history of doing this with their other properties, like sports stuff. They'll hire people outside of the sport just to come in and talk shit so that they'll pick up their game. So I think that's the whole goal. Yeah. I'm personally sick of hearing about him. I don't care about him. Don't really give a fuck about him one way or another at this point. But everybody's just sucking his dick dry like he is the next coming of Jesus. And I just think he's CM Punk. So
he left before people were ready to be done with him.
Like Jesse Ventura status.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they still, they want him back. But once they get one match with him, I don't think that people will care as much.
Yeah, it's definitely, I like what they're doing. They're definitely treated, like an actual sport, like, football. They'll get the old football analysis on there and they'll do that kind of thing. And they're trying to do that with Punk too. So it is fun to see that they're actually, treating it legit in that kind of aspect. But Scott, what do you think about Punk? Do you feel the same way? You think it's like a one and done type deal if he does have a match?
Well, I'll say the same thing with what you just said. That is what they brought him in on, and that's how they sold it to him. They're like, if we had football, we'd bring in this star. We had baseball, we'll bring in this star, and we want you to be that. Okay, I'll be that guy. And he's not affiliated with WWE at all. It's Fox, and I'll be that guy who says that meme. That's what it is. Which makes me laugh whenever I see people saying like, oh, there's no need to point it out. Do you think you're being all fancy at pointing it out? Why are you being all like fancy? And because we're right. He is with Fox. He's not with WWE.
Yeah.
It's not a meme when you're correct. But he is back with that. Will he have a match? Oh, probably. I said this before he was even on the podcast, I think, with you guys. But I was like, man, he's going to leave because he was all upset about these guys coming in like Rock and Lesnar and guys doing these multi-show matches and then just leaving after a bit while he's there week in, week out.
Yep.
When he left, I'm like, he's going to come back and be one of those guys.
Sure, everybody is.
That's literally the irony is he's going to be that.
Cena's the same way. Cena's the same way.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So that's where I see that going. Will it? Maybe it never happens. I don't know. Who knows? He's been through 2 UFC fights where he got his ass kicked by nobodies.
Yeah.
So to be fair to him, because like I know he bitched about that, but it's like Lesnar was the one that changed that culture of that being okay, and I'm okay with it too because not with Lesnar, fuck Lesnar, but like Cena. Like Cena's a great example. Do you burn him out and lose him forever? Or do you spread him out over the course of 10 years and he'll have 5 matches or something and make it a big deal? I prefer that.
That's part of why Angle left way back in the day because he wanted to schedule like that, but they wouldn't do it. Now they do have that schedule where you won't burn out. So will it happen eventually? Probably. Will it be something on his terms? Yeah. But I mean, people are still clamoring for Stone Cold to have one more match, and it's been since 2003. So they're never going to stop wanting it. It's one of those things.
Well, we're definitely not getting Stone Cold. We know that.
Well, no, he can't be. I don't think he can even be medically cleared.
No, that's what I mean.
No, he can't. Right? But that's not going to stop people from wanting it. People still get CM Punk.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying. He will eventually have one more match. If Bret Hart can go through what he did with the company and come back to have a match or two, CM Punk will, and he's in better shape for it. So will it be good? Who knows? But yeah, I think eventually. I like it overall because at least people will kind of sort of finally shut up. But when they say, "Oh, he's back with WWE, he should feud with Mysterio," no, he's not. He's not. He's working with a network. He is not with WWE. He might show up on NXT. No, stop being an idiot. He's not going to show up.
So
it's different.
So what about you, Lee? Are you excited? Do you think he's going to do anything, or what are your thoughts?
I personally don't give a shit if he comes back or not. I mean, I figure he will because, I mean, the WWE is going to see that because the WWE lately, in the last, 10 years, have had that sort of super fight mentality with, their old stars. You know, bring them in every once in a while to pop ratings and make some money. So there's a lot of potential here. If they see money in it, they'll bring him back, and you can have him have all these nice little one-off little feuds and super fights with all their NXT guys and stuff like that. And also you could do Hunter, CM Punk as well if the money's right. I'm sure he'd say yes, even though those two hate each other's guts. Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it either, but I'm just saying that could.
Why not though? Why are you saying
because
no?
Because
it wasn't good.
100 matches they can do that are fresh. Why would you go back to something that was never good to begin with?
Exactly.
Well, there's history here that we didn't necessarily know back then.
Yeah, bad history. As in, they never had good chemistry, and the one match they had against each other fucking sucked.
Well, I mean,
I'd rather see CM Punk CM Punk versus Muscle Chomp, Adam Cole,
Punk Balor. Let's get Punk
Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes much more sense.
I'd rather see him face guys he's interested in facing, and we all know he does not want to face Triple H. So why do we want to see him be unmotivated?
I'm just saying, there's more of a story there. That's all I'm saying.
But I don't care how much of a story there is. If he doesnn't want it, A, why would he do it? B, it won't be any good because we know he turns in shit when that happens. Why do you want to see the build-up for a match that's gonna suck when he himself admits, I don't want to?
And Hunter, his little baby, NXT, he's jacking off at the thought of CM Punk doing jobs for all his top NXT guys.
Yeah, Riddle, lay down for Riddle, bitch.
He wants it. He wants it so bad.
The thing they really remember here is if WWE did not want him involved with Fox, they could have vetoed it, I have to think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the ins and outs of it, but there's no way that they would not have been like, no, you can't have him. And Fox went, yeah, we're going to anyway. There's no way that would have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know the ins and outs, but it's a partnership. So.
One of the WWE people said that Vince had to give his blessing to Fox. Yeah. But, I mean, at this point, for the rumors, Fox has Vince by the balls right now. Though.
Yeah.
He basically has to do whatever they want.
Don't forget that Vince, even though if he hates you, if he can make money, he'll do it. So this is money. He'll do it.
They're kind of running angles with this because on the next one of these shows, Hunter's showing up. CM Punk ain't going to be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so, I mean, he
said he's not going to be there every week, but yeah.
That's going to get people talking. Oh, what's going on. Politics. I'm a smark. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, freaking Ryback, because I watch his food reviews, and every once in a while I'll try to catch if he has an interesting topic, but he thinks that this is Vince courting Fox, and that he thinks Vince is probably going to sell it to Fox. At first I would have said never, but I mean he seems pretty disinterested and more going in the XFL direction. So
what the fuck?
Surprised. WWE as a whole.
Hey man, why aren't you? Why don't you start a feud with that fucking Ryback? He's ripping you off,
dude.
Man.
We need to do it. He just did a video with one of our buddies too. I thought that was funny.
That big muscle bound.
Yeah, apparently he was saying that he thinks that this is Vince getting ready to sell the company off.
Again, that's literally a guy's opinion who's not in there anymore.
Yeah,
but he would know Vince better than us because he's actually interacted with him and we never have. So I gotta say, you can't just write him off and say he's completely dumb.
But that's not based on any kind of dirt sheets. It's literally, I think it might be this. Fair enough.
That's based off of how he says he just knows how Vince works, and he's just I just know that Vince.
I would bet anything. I would bet my entire life on that would not be the case.
I would bet against you on that.
I would bet against you on that too. I think
because there's absolutely a possibility this could be where it goes.
But he made a good point. His reasoning wasn't just I just think Vince wants to sell it or something. The rumor right now is that Fox actually does have creative control to a lot of things. Like that was the agreement. They paid them a lot of money so that it's no longer Vince is in charge. Oh, my bad. Vince is in charge no matter what. But essentially, Fox can veto stuff if they don't like it. And Vince has never given that power to anyone under any circumstance ever. And now he has. And he's like, well, if he did that, and he's like, I could see him just being like, I'm getting old. Maybe it's time to sell it off and move on.
Gets an offer. Yeah.
But it's also Fox, though. Like, he's never had like a deal with the network as deep as that, as far as like, obviously there's been.
So?
I'm sure he could have, but he's on purpose. He wanted full creative control. Now, for a fact, he doesn't have full creative control anymore.
When that much money gets thrown around,
$1 billion. Come on.
I don't. I mean, of course, anything could happen. That's
you saying nothing, never is like you know wrestling. Both business and kayfabe, anything. It's carny as fuck. Anything can happen.
Yeah, this isn't even a wrestling thing. This is a business thing where there's $1 billion deals, and suddenly, Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion. What? That kind of stuff happens out of nowhere. So
it just would. Oh yeah, I mean, anything could happen. Yeah, I guess so. I would just never in a million years assume it would. But
I never thought the UFC would get sold like it did, but it did. So it's exactly the same situation.
Well, UFC
they'll never sell it
nearly as big as WWE though. So
$4.2 billion is pretty fucking big.
I'm not saying it's not big. I'm just saying
I'd say it's about as close though.
But that was overvalued. Yeah, that was
I'd say it's pretty damn close. I'd say they're about as even as most companies would be in terms of this kind of discussion.
With the amount of marketing and properties and stuff, just think of it this way. Star Wars was worth a lot of money, and Disney bought it and has already made that back hand over fist with all the stuff it's done with it.
Sure.
Same idea here. Can you imagine if Fox owned WWE? They would pimp that out on every single network they have, flush marketing that's been turned down for decades, and go nuts with it, getting into areas it's never even had a chance to, because Fox is a name property beyond anything else it's ever been affiliated with.
Well, they can keep, the McMahons in the creative role. Like, they could still be the CEOs. They could still be mostly in charge, but you have your, corporate overlords that get you to a further market you could never reach.
It'll be just like when Ted Turner took over Jim Crockett Promotions. Same difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yep. But we were talking about NXT. I think we should talk about WarGames. Zion, were you out of it to not remember WarGames?
A little bit at the end, but I remember most of it. It was good. I thought everything was fun. NXT is always a good time. So even if there was something that may have annoyed me, it doesn't matter because it's such a good show that it doesn't really. The good outdoes all the bad. But the women's WarGames match was great. The men's was great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what was throw the other matches at
Riddle and Balor.
Oh, Riddle and Balor was awesome. I was just into it because I was like, this. I never thought we'd see them face each other. So I was having a ball during Riddle and Balor. Yeah.
And there was the triple threat.
Yeah.
Dunn, Priest, and
Pete Dunne.
It went a little long. That was the only match. Like, I liked it a lot. I thought the 80% of it was great, and then I think they should have taken it home. And there at one point they because at one it was I don't know, halfway point. All three of them were exhausted, laying down in the ring, and it was fine because But then they did that again towards the end, and I was like, "Why are they this? We're at the tail end of the match. Why are they all laying down? Let's go. This is it. The last 10% is where you just fucking do everything you got to do." And it just felt like it died a little the last 20%, but still, it's fun. I like Damian Priest a lot.
Somebody said I saw somebody said in your chat that you hate Pete Dunne. Is that an inside joke? What is that?
I really don't like Pete Dunne that much. No, I will acknowledge that he is a great wrestler, but he has the Jamie Noble problem for me.
What?
His body type, he doesn't wrestle his body type. So he's this tiny little dude, but he wrestles like a bigger dude. Well, my problem with Noble back in the day was you have this roster of cruiserweights. Noble becomes cruiserweight champion, yet he doesn't wrestle like a cruiserweight at all. He wrestles like a guy, double his size, and I don't like that. And I also can't stand Pete Dunne's stupid finger breaking gimmick because he never breaks it. He never breaks a finger ever. Not a single time in kayfabe has somebody come out with a cast. So what is the point? It's like Big Show's punch. What is the fucking point? I don't understand.
Yeah, you're speaking my language there, man.
Well,
I hate it. Half his moveset is basically bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not expect this.
I think he's got good ring psychology because his matches always flow really well. But for me personally, as a smarky smark that smarks, the moment that he goes to break somebody's finger, it immediately takes me out of the match, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching a fake thing again. Thanks, Pete. I hate that.
Well, I mean, at least it's logical, though. I mean,
no, it's not, because if he broke their finger, then they would have to be out of wrestling for 6 months.
I mean, honestly, Killian Dane is the first thing the first guy I can remember that he's feuded with, where there was even a hint that he almost broke a dude's finger, and that's the reason that Killian Dane's coming to fuck him up, because you almost broke my fingers.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, how ineffective is your finger shit if you can't if you can't break a dude's hand every match?
There was a funny spot that somebody sent to me because I didn't remember it, but Damian Priest was like on his knees, Dunn is out, and Dunn reaches up and tries to do the finger break, and he just slaps his hand away.
Oh yes, I remember watching that. That was good. Yeah, because he just like reached up and he's like, "Ha!"
So casual, like it's just like, you couldn't have cared less.
Priest is really good. That was a great
I like him
from ROH. Like they stole a fucking great guy.
Yeah, no,
I like his voice.
He was on his way to the world title in ROH, I think.
Yeah, he would.
Punishment Martinez was definitely on the way, so he took a gamble and it's paying off now.
I like it. Well, I mean, his look is very interesting. He dresses like Kevin Nash, and he's got he did the razors. He did the razor's edge.
Dude,
move.
he even said his gear was Outsiders inspired.
Yeah, he's basically an outsider.
Yeah,
both of the Outsiders.
I don't want to send Mauro Ranallo into a spiral of depression more than he's in already.
Oh God!
But dude, his commentary during that match. And here's Damian Priest doing a tribute, Mamma Mia, to the Outsiders, and blah blah. It's like every couple lines, tribute to the Outsiders, tribute to Kevin Nash, tribute to Scott Hall. And it's like, oh yeah, and here's this forearm exchange where they're doing a tribute to New Japan, and here's Killian Dane doing a tribute to fucking Tugboat Taylor from the '80s by being a big fat guy with a beard. It's like, dude, you need to calm your shit a little.
I love him. I don't care what anybody says. He's so much fun.
Well, hold that thought, because we will talk about him here coming up in a minute. But the rest of this show, Lee, you said on Twitter or somewhere I saw, might have been on Discord, that you said this may have been your show of the year. Like
this is definitely my show of the year, and it's almost solely based around the women's war game.
I agree.
Working on it was a lot of fun.
I thought that was some of the best fucking wrestling I've seen in years. Not necessarily technical in ring, although it was all really solid and good, and in a lot of really good spots. My biggest love for this match was just the way it was set out. The story of it was just so good. The fucking turn in the middle of it with Kylie Ray or whoever, Dakota Kai, whatever. You could see it coming a mile away after the storyline on TV, where her being like left broad. You could see it. It's like, oh, she's going to turn. But it was still so well done when she did it, because it didn't cost him the match, but it still set up like feuds down the line. And then you have fucking our last two survivors who fucking overcome the odds and beat Baszler's team. And Rhea Ripley is fucking amazing.
Oh, she's great.
That whole fucking match was great. It totally validates women's wrestling. I don't care about Dave Meltzer and all these jerk-off tape traders who talk about how great the fucking Japanese women's wrestling was in the 90s. It was good. It wasn't as good as this shit, because there was better storylines in this stuff. And the work's good. The storyline's even better. And that's what I want in fucking wrestling. I want great fucking stories that I was marking out to. I was marking out several times in this fucking match. I was just like, yes.
I will 120% agree that Rhea Ripley is like fucking amazing. Charlotte Flair has always been like, I believe one of my favorites as far as the women go. But Rhea Ripley has just the look that you can tell she looks like a badass. Even my girlfriend Jessica, who was watching the show, she's never seen Rhea or anything like that. As soon as she walked out, she went, "Oh wow, I like her look." And she stood out immediately to her, somebody that's never seen her before. Rhea Ripley is $1 million. I'm telling you.
She's only 23.
What? Really? She's 23?
She's only 23 years old.
Jeez.
She's like fucking MJF, man. Like, there's a total prodigy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what she can do. I don't know. Maybe you guys do know. You can clarify with me. I know she was on NXT UK. Is she now Like, is she going back to that, or is she going to stay with NXT?
I think she's NXT.
She's NXT. She's been NXT since the live stuff.
Okay,
so they'd be dumb not to keep her there.
I didn't know if they were just. I didn't know if they were just bringing her in to do some stuff and then go back. I wasn't sure, but okay, that's
she's
awesome.
going to the main roster. Though.
No, she's going after Baszler still.
That's good. That's
good.
good.
She is going to do that though, and then Vince is going to get her. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
She's like Keith Lee. Also, his time in NXT is done. Like it's a time. He's getting called.
Yeah, he's a made man after that. Yeah.
But
Rhea, good God, Rhea came out there and had matches with literally every top star the WWE has, and won all of them, and it was all good over the past 2 weeks.
She's awesome.
She had a knockdown drag out with fucking Becky Lynch, which just sets up.
She stole an awesome pin on Charlotte during the figure 8.
That was fun. Yep.
She captained WarGames to victory and captained Survivor Series to victory
Both
in
times.
Underdog situations.
Yeah, both times underdogs. They lost people
against killers. So this is during our Discord chat. I'm not going to name names because I forget who it was. But people were like, "Man, they're booking her. Maybe it's too strong." What? I'm like, you're already hating on her. You're literally getting all the Rhea you can get, and you're starting to already turn.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I mean,
that drives me nuts. It's like you're literally getting this new hotness that made a cool appearance in the Rumble, but has been hidden otherwise. And suddenly now, after this arc of I'm in the upper echelon with them, oh, it's too much. It's too much too soon. No, it's all good. How is too much when it's all good? How is that too much?
I can tell you though, because I think this would lead into my issue with Wyatt. Because she is good in the ring and he is garbage, and that is the difference. When she's given the opportunity, she thrives. He's given the opportunity.
I disagree,
and he fucks it up every single time.
We can come back to that because we'll get to
but I mean that's what I was trying to get.
I have my own opinions on that, but I
think that's why people like her more, and that's why Wyatt is flailing right now. In my opinion.
Good. I really want to talk to that because we'll
come back there because I'm agreeing. So. Well, I agree on parts of it.
Okay, so anyway, we already kind of talked about the other match. I guess the men's WarGames match. We'll talk about that. What about that crazy finish? Have you ever?
You want to start with the finish?
Well, yeah, that's the thing that jumps out to me the most. I don't. Is there
that's
something
the biggest thing, really.
Yeah.
So here's my problem. It was amazing. It was nuts. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. They showed Britt Baker on camera. The director apparently didn't know. Oops, AEW. Oh well, whatever. Who cares? Here's my problem. Adam Cole came out with taped ribs for the next night.
I agree.
He should have been fucking dead. He shouldn't have been on the Survivor Series.
Thank you. I was saying that too. One of our JRPL members.
But he was and whatever. But it's like, what?
Yeah, Redhead was over here, and I was saying the exact same thing. I was like, he looks fine. He was in a backstage segment where he did an interview, and he just did that little, he moved his neck a little bit, and I'm like, that dude took, one of the biggest spots of the year. And
yeah, I've never seen someone land quite like that on their upper neck.
It is what it is. It couldn't just, take him off the show, so it is what it is.
I think his problem was letting fucking Ciampa with his,
Oh, yeah. What's going on with that?
I know he's cleared to wrestle, obviously. Totally recovered to the extent that you can with the broken neck he had. He should not be doing shit like that.
No.
There was no reason for that to be the ending. Why? It was awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
they pulled it off perfectly.
That was a CZW ending right there.
You don't need to do stuff like that. That's not needed. There's
at least not him with that neck. Not him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a bump card, and his card is nearly depleted. It is literally whooshing around the drain, and it's about to go down. He's on the edge time.
Oh, one more hit and it's over.
Yeah. So knock it off. I guess his theory is, fuck it. If I'm going to burn bright, and I'll make moments people will remember, and that's fine, but it's going to lower his career significantly.
Hope he saved his money. That's all I got to say.
Me too.
That might be his outlook. You're right. It could be, hey, if I'm going out, I'm going out fucking on top.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see him re-injure himself and then come back a year later. Oh, here's Tommaso Ciampa in a wheelchair with his fucking arms skinny as fuck because he's got
Oh no!
It's already hard enough seeing Tegan Nox with both knees in braces, and she's 25. It's what? And it's hard watching her jump off the top with that shit. They
need to really slow down this fucking dive style.
We had a generation that had to go and escalate things, and that's the Mick Foley style where they just went too far. Yeah, and then you had a generation learn from that going, I don't want to be like Mick Foley where I can't bend my knees properly.
Yeah,
but we're moving past that, though, into people who will do it anyway. It's
I've talked about
you gotta stand out.
Before, though. It's not.
Oh, I know, but yeah.
It's not even Foley. It's more that ROH indie culture that has that's basically the population of most of the major rosters now are the people who came from that era.
And it's guys who make a suicide dive a regular move. It's like, no.
Yeah, and all these people like Brian and stuff getting fucking concussions and shit, like that's the result of that shit.
Yeah.
Like when you have every match on your fucking card and people are doing dives 3 minutes into the goddamn match for no reason at all because it's just a transition spot. Like, what do you think's going to happen? These people are going to fucking hurt each other, and they're going to hurt themselves.
Yeah, and there was the Panama Sunrise on that middle part of the double
that was
ring.
Sick. Yeah,
let's talk Kevin Owens being in the match was just fucking fun too.
Yeah, I mean that match.
The crowd loved that. That was great, and you could tell it got to him. It was emotional for him.
I really liked the nice touch of his old NXT shirt that he wore. He kind of had the same haircut
and his entrance. He had his debut entrance, Titantron.
Yep. Yeah. Very cool stuff there. He came in, but that Panama Sunrise, it definitely looked like it hurt Adam Cole just as bad, if not worse, because it looked like all his weight came down right on his lower back or tailbone. Man,
I think he took all of it. I don't think who was it he gave it to again?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin
Owens. Yeah, he protected Owens.
Kevin took anything at all. I think it was completely fine.
Owens was fine.
It looked really bad. But it's when comparing stuff, I think I agree with Lee that the women's War Games match stole the show for me. I think that was by far the best match of the night.
I just want to say my one bummer about that is the fact that you had literally at one point 3 different people supposed to be in the match that aren't, and I always get like, I kind of wanted to
sucks
see
for
those
them. It kind of sucks for them.
Like
too.
after all that, even Tegan's in the build up and Mia Yim, all this stuff, and then they're just not in it. It's like,
well, especially
that was
it's a bummer. I get it's part of the thing, but man,
that was the only thing they dropped the ball on. They didn't do. They didn't explain why Mia Yim wasn't in the match on the actual show. Like they did it beforehand, but they can't go in assuming that everyone watching the show watched everything beforehand. They can't be like AEW and think everyone's watching the Elite and Dark and all that shit, right?
Yeah, and that really, when you were saying it let down that people weren't in it, if Mia Yim, if anybody, you're sad wasn't in it, it's got to be Mia Yim because she will do
she's awesome.
The craziest stuff, yeah.
Mia's awesome. The Mia Yim or Mia, Dakota, and Tegan are all awesome. So the fact that none of them were in it when they were supposed to be literally on the ramp for 2 of them. Is like, it's the story. Maybe. But that's what gets me. They only do this match when they do.
But they didn't. Yeah, they didn't punk out any of the people that have been around for a long time. They punked out the people that are kind of fresh to the rosters. They got time.
I'm definitely okay with it because it made
it's just a bummer. Is all I mean. Yeah, I get it. The long term is better because Tegan and Dakota. That's going to be a fucking crazy story. That's going to be good. Be good. And with Mia wanting revenge against. Obviously Dakota, and it goes all from there. So it's going to be.
The match was so fucking good that it made me actually want to watch women's wrestling after the match.
Whoa,
that's where it is.
That's the biggest announcement I've ever heard on the show here.
It just goes to show if you do it right, it's good.
Yeah,
because the girls are doing fucking wrestling better than the fucking dude.
That's true. That's true.
It's the bottom line. They're doing it better.
Yep. All right. I guess anybody got anything else to say before we go over to Survivor Series?
Oh yeah. Damian Priest looks like a drug dealer at the clubs in LA. That's it. That's all I had.
He was doing his gimmick though that on NXT.
All right. Well, there we go.
Wasn't that part of his promo packages even?
So I don't know.
Wait, who was he cutting a promo against? The finger breaker? Forgetting his name again.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. He was like, Pete Dunne, I see you, and I'm gonna take my shot.
I kind of wanted it considering he was doing so many tributes that night there, Mauro. I wanted to see him do an entrance tribute to fucking Brood and just come up from the stage with the fucking Brood's music. I mean, it wouldn't fit, would it?
Okay, actually, thank you for bringing that up. You did before we go to Survivor Series. Let's talk about this Mauro incident or whatever you want to call it, drama.
Yeah.
Apparently, so I didn't even know what was going on. I was watching Survivor Series and I was looking at the Discord chat, the live chat as, the show was going on, and people started talking shit about, Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is a piece of shit, and Corey, I didn't know anything yet. I didn't see it. I missed it. Apparently Corey Graves sent out a tweet that, hey, I'm paraphrasing here, of course. His tweet said, you wouldn't know it, but there's a WWE Hall of Famer and a former Ring of Honor world champion on the commentary team, but you might not know that because I guess he was talking over them, apparently.
That's the implication, yeah.
Guess which two of those things you're never going to be, Corey?
God.
Also, the gall of Corey Graves, who has talked over Renee Young since Renee Young did commentary with him.
It's a three-man commentary team. Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah. But also, like, we're talking to each other now. There's 4 of us. Yeah. The other part of it, though, is the idea that people started to claim that that's the reason that Mauro deleted his Twitter and he isn't there. And they're like, you can come to me and talk to me personally. And the turnaround is, why the fuck didn't you do that, Corey, and go to Mauro? Yeah. Like, why didn't you just do it to him?
And he's got those mental issues. Like,
exactly. Like, if there's anybody you're not going to do that to, fucking
Mauro's bipolar.
Limits, but fuck.
Yeah. He's fucking bipolar. Like, that's a serious fucking issue. Like, and apparently there was, from what I've read, I don't know if this is true or not, but he was sort of like letting people know that this was kind of a down weekend for him.
Oh God, yeah.
So you could kind of maybe understand why he was so hyped. Like, he was trying to, maybe bite against that a bit on NXT, try to hype himself up. And then you have fucking little tattooed jerkwad there who thinks, buddy, you ain't fucking Jesse Ventura. You're never going to be Jesse Ventura.
No.
And you sit there and you start sending snide little tweets, and your ass is fucking fired. You're a piece of shit.
There's enough fans already at Mauro for this random bullshit because it's the internet. So the idea of having people go, oh yeah, you should let the Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel talk more and the Hall of Famer Beth, you should let them talk more, and they off they go.
Oh, he's so good. Even if he talks over him, he's great. I love Mauro. He never annoys me ever.
Now the thing that they did with Michael Cole when they had the NXT title match with Nigel and Beth, they had Michael Cole say that, yes, Mauro blew his voice out, so that's why he's not here. He'll be back on Wednesday.
Is why that's actually what brought it up in the chat there, is when that happened. That's when I started seeing people talk about it, and I was like, wait, what? What's going on?
Yeah, people were assuming that's the Corey thing, but then again, you know who knows? But Mauro Ranallo, and he hasn't said yet.
It could have definitely have been. The dude always goes 110 throughout the show. I wouldn't be surprised.
He probably did blow his voice out. And he's got the bipolar and doesn't think he's deserving of being on the big show sometimes, even though he is, and he absolutely is. But he might have thought, I don't deserve Survivor Series. I'm going to go all out here. And then, fuck Corey Graves. That could be all it is. Or he had an episode thanks to Corey Graves. Or he had an episode anyway. Or who the fuck knows?
He also had the best line on the show that made me laugh because it was like such a dad joke, and the opposite of a Jim Cornette offending people joke. It was like, I don't know who was in there. It was one of the heels, but I think it was one of the women, and he was like, "Her heart is colder than a polar bear's toenails," and it made me laugh. I was like,
"What?"
That was a funny joke. Yeah, it was funny. It made me laugh. I
still remember Eskimo. They would have fired it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Exactly.
The irony here is this is the week where Triple H came out and started talking about talent that was like being shitty on Twitter about their job status and stuff like that. And he's saying, well, if you have problems, why don't you come to management in private instead of airing your dirty laundry out? And then fucking Corey Graves started throwing this shit on fucking Twitter. Like,
because Oni Lorcan wanted his release. He asked for it. Biff Busick is what he went back to. So.
Man, he owned Triple H on Twitter, though. 100% he owned him.
I tried to play the game. Exactly.
Yeah, he turned on him quick. But dude, working for that company, if you're not important, has to be fucking miserable.
That's be soul crushing.
Oh, soul crushing. Just knowing you're giving the best years of your life to the company, and like, especially if you're an NXT guy and you're not being paid, like Rusev free signing money or like at least $500,000. Like they're still in developmental. And they're not getting paid nearly what those other people are doing. Like when I see, what was the Mike Kanellis, when he bitched and complained. Like, dude, you signed a contract, you committed to 5 years, you're getting $500,000 a year, and a couple of weeks later you go, I made a mistake. Yeah, well, guess what? Man the fuck up. You signed the contract.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Now you're barely being used, but oh well. That's
end of story.
I back that 100%.
You made the decision.
Yeah. You know how you handle it? Like John Moxley did. And you just do whatever you got to do.
Do what you committed to do, yeah.
You 100%. Knuckle down and you go and you do it. Or you don't resign. And if you resign, I made a mistake. Yeah, well, guess what? You still read that and signed it. There's no, I get to change my mind later. Yeah.
Just make your $2 million, $2 million and get out and then wrestle casually for the rest of your life. Whatever.
You got it fucking easy. Try telling this shit to any fucking guy who worked at territories who was like working their day Like, oh, I'm almost done in the territory. I still got like 2 months of dates, and I'm going to be jobbed out every fucking night, and for peanuts.
Yep.
Peanuts. And you're making $500,000 a year or whatever to be cucked by your wife on TV. What the fuck do you care? You're making the money. Where else are you going, Mike Kanellis? What else?
I was about to say, let's be honest. If you want to go specifics on person by person basis, Mike Kanellis. Come on. I mean, come on.
Let's be honest. Killing it in Japan? I don't think so.
Look at the guys who did leave and bet on themselves. Cody's the obvious one, but Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, he's the other one, and he's kind of a guy over there, but not really.
I feel the same way about Spears as I do about Mike Kanellis.
That's the highest level of anybody otherwise that tried to do this and bet on themselves.
He's the AEW Mike
over there as a friend of Cody. That's why he's there. Mike Kanellis, good fucking luck. You'll be a job guy on Power is what you'll be. And you won't be paid as much. Stay there and get paid what you're getting. For 5 years, you're good for 5 years. Even if they don't use you, whatever, you're paid for 5 years.
He also committed to it. I mean, like, you sign the dotted line. Yeah. That's a big fucking deal. He committed, and then he backtracked right away. It's not how contracts work, Mike.
No, I'm really pissed off about how fucking Sean Spears is holding back fucking...
Tully
Blanchard's
he's holding.
Yeah,
he is.
Well, and that whole contract stuff. I know we talked about it before, Bomber, but you see this online all the time. Oh, they should release him from his contract. He's not happy. No, that's not how that works. Fuck you.
Yeah, but I actually heard that Jordan Miles. I believe that's his name.
That's because he's crazy.
That's his slave name.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're crazy,
the one that he came up with.
And I heard that he actually is released. He did get his release.
Yeah, WWE didn't want him. Yeah, and so that's his slave name, right? It's based on Michael Jordan and Miles Morales. That's where he came up with that.
Yep.
He made it himself.
His situation is insane though, because he made it seem like WWE is the worst place and blah, 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 blah. He clearly has some mental illness issues, because I was on board with him at first. I was like, that seems pretty shitty. And then he did the Periscope rant, and the moment I heard that, I went, that's it. He's a crazy person. So
honestly, I would not be surprised if he okayed that smile shirt to let it go through to be able to try to pull this.
To bitch about it, yeah. He's dude,
you know what I mean?
Out Lethal, who is like, I've heard universally that Jay Lethal is supposed to be like one of the most respected, beloved people in the business, and he called him out too for I thought the whole point of his rant was against like the racism in WWE, and then he starts talking about a guy who's not even WWE, who's also black. Like, what do you?
Well, it was mainly talking about Ring of Honor too, saying like I guess almost all companies talk about how they all are, they don't have a lot of black world champions and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what this sounds like to me? Wah. That's wah. He had a point, and then he immediately threw it in the ground because he started acting like a psychopath.
And to watch how fast people like at first jumped on every little detail that he was saying, like people immediately I
took a step back for sure.
Somebody, I forget, I don't know if it was on Twitter or if it was on our Discord. I believe it's on our Discord, but somebody was talking about they were just calling out different companies, like so and so hasn't had a black world champion in so many years, so and so hasn't done this, and somebody said fuck Impact Wrestling, they haven't ever had one. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, the truth was a multiple time world champion. It was the NWA World title, which was their title at the time.
Yeah, but he was still the first one outside of like The Rock. That was game changing when he did it.
Exactly, and that was great. But nobody even brings. Speaking of The Rock, nobody brings. I don't know.
Because no one wants to really remember TNA back then.
Well, but still, he's never been world champion. This is from a lot of people who say they should let this person be champion. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
not everybody gets a turn, for fucking sake.
Yeah, no. I always have been, I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care what you look like, how fucking handsome, how fucking hot you are, how whatever. If you are, as far as storyline goes, deserving of the title, then yes, it should be a champion.
100%.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously, there were so many people that you like Mr. Perfect and stuff like that. Who cares what the fuck he looked like? He what color skin he had? It didn't matter. He was fucking super over, and he just fell victim to the Hulk Hogan era. Just never really got that shot. Now that's somebody that you should be mad about. Like just people like that.
He also fell victim to Cash Shinoda's fucking bump card really early on in his career too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but yes, I've seen that the Jordan Miles dude has went far over the edge.
Atomic. Atomic. He jumped off the cliff when he didn't need to.
I was ready to jump to his defense, and it was like,
Me too.
No, dude.
Because when I saw the shirt, I was like, oh fuck.
Let's talk about that
shirt. Is bad.
Let's talk.
That's where it started. I was like, oh god. But then they're like, yeah, he approved it. Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not saying that they're not racist in how they designed it. But dude, you were okay with it. Now you're not. We're back in that whole contract thing of you can't say you signed it and then change your mind.
Oh yeah, no, the WWE's definitely done a lot of racist shit in their day.
Mm-hmm.
So is every wrestling company. They're no one's fucking
True.
innocent of that sort of shit. But this so seems like a case of a crazy person trying to be opportunistic and
And there are a lot of what I am kind of getting down on is, like just personally, getting, I don't know if sad's the right word, but let down. There's a lot of, black wrestlers that I follow on Twitter and stuff, and they are still 100% behind them, but they are super fucking good. They have a super bright future, and I really don't want to see them get grouped in with this dude who's going off the deep end.
Well, it also goes back to what we were saying earlier on the show, where how Mark Henry's like, fuck Jim Cornette in those comments. Like, where is he getting his information? How much does he actually know other than what he's heard on Twitter? Like, have they actually talked to Jordan Miles or anyone involved?
Did you hear about racist comment Jim Cornette said? No, what'd he say? He said this. Oh, fuck that racist.
Yeah.
You don't even need to watch it to be able to have an opinion on it, and that's the problem.
Yeah. I heard stuff about people are saying Cedric Alexander is starting to, claim a lot of the same stuff and is trying to get out of his contract as well. And Cedric is so fucking awesome. I hate to see something like that.
Dude,
who knows though? If it happens, it happens. I mean,
I saw in it was in our Discord, I think, or on Twitter during Raw last night when Humberto got taken out. Someone, because Humberto was going to face AJ for the U.S. title, he got attacked by the OC, and then they had a four-way blah 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 Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, Vince must be sour on Humberto like he was on Cedric." It's like, no, Vince. Not everything that happens that you don't like is Vince. It doesn't work that way anymore. Maybe it was that, but just because he got beaten up once and had it taken away doesn't mean that's what happened. Yeah, it's not everything is Vince's fault, and that's just how people just knee-jerk react to things.
And Vince is a weird racist because clearly he has racist tendencies. Like we all know the way he was, but exception, money always talks to Vince more than his racism. So if he can make money, he will ignore his racist tendencies immediately.
He's racist. He's racist against the Mexicans and the Spanish. That's why I didn't like Humberto. Yeah, Rey Mysterio's world champ or U.S. champ.
That's what I said. Certain people get his good graces, and he kind of be like, "Oh, he's like, I'm racist, but not for this guy. He's money."
Yeah.
Goddamn, Rock! I hate your light black skin, but I love the money you make for me.
Goddamn. But no, Humberto just went through a program with AJ though, kind of. So I mean, come on. I mean, that just. I don't know. It's
just he
people
got beat
bitching
up,
to bitch.
He got beat up 3-1. What happens?
He's more the victim of just the stop-start booking that the WWE does with everybody.
Yeah.
So kind of annoying.
So let's talk about Survivor Series real quick here. We got before we go, we're not going to go through the full card, I guess, but did any match stand out as being really, we'll talk about the negatives first. Did any match stand out as being really bad off the top that you can think of?
No, I thought everything was solid at that. Like at worst,
the work was fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
the placement of the card was kind of bad. I think
the placement was weird. The one match, the triple threat tag at the start, the Raiders seemed sluggish compared to the rest. Which was weird.
Yeah, they've lost a lot, big steps.
They don't normally come off that way, so I was a bit disappointed in the Raiders compared to the other guys. But that was about it. Otherwise, it was all pretty.
Triple threats suck anyway. Way too many triple threats this weekend.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of the whole theme.
And
though.
there were dumb pieces like Walter got Samoa Joe'd and Strowman got counted out in a triple threat when no one else did. There's little things like that. It's like, guys, it's consistent. That's all.
But I mean, in Walter's case, like I saw people really taking fucking shitstorm on that. It's like he's going to be in NXT UK for a while.
Yeah, nobody really knows who he is, even though the Chicago crowd are marks and they know. That got him over a bit. That was
really bad though.
They could have audibled it to last.
Yeah. Why do you think it was really bad?
Because he's undefeated on WWE UK and he's a monster and he's over as fuck. So what do? Job him out to a guy named Drew McIntyre who's done nothing. Now, hey, if that had been Roman, or like, okay, or Seth, or somebody like one of the main people, it was Drew McIntyre. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
You know,
they have ignored him for months.
Just out of nowhere. Well, I mean, Drew was hurt, I believe. But if this means Drew goes to UK for a bit, okay, let's have some fun.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is if he gets the UK challenges, but he's not going to.
No, the UK Blackpool already has a challenger for Walter. It's not.
Yeah. But it just didn't make any sense, because there could be money behind it. It's similar to how they treated Braun in this match, except Braun lasted longer. But Braun is the ultimate main event jobber. That guy, because of booking, is never going to be the man, because they just refuse to pull the trigger on him.
He'll get a company man world title like Kane did here and there.
That's not the same. That's not money.
But he should get the proper ones.
Braun should be the guy right now. They fucked it up. He should have been the guy. He has the personality. He's fun. He was
still
over.
Can. That's the crazy.
I don't know.
He can.
We're gonna talk.
I don't think he's Jericho status. So.
Here's a spoiler for a theme that we're gonna talk about after this show: is you don't want to fucking be the man in this company. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
It does hurt. It depends on who it is, but I mean, Roman's finally come around. Roman's not getting booed as much, which is interesting
because he's not as the man as he used to be. But
he also shuts the fuck up over Seth.
Kind of. But yeah, true. We'll get there.
So as far the only really thing I saw that I just didn't get on the show, overall, I feel the same way. I thought from top to bottom, overall, this was a solid, really good show. On paper, I thought it was going to be, easily show of the year. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was solid.
Big potential. It was a letdown compared to what could have been an easy home run.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy home run. It had to work at it, but it was still good. The infield.
The only weird thing that I saw on the show was the main event. The match itself wasn't really bad. The match was fine, but I need you guys to explain to me, why was this the main event? The Becky Lynch versus
it is the
Bayley.
three women that represent the company fighting. That's a big fucking deal. It's never happened before. NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown, the women, which technically are supposed to be, as equal with the men in terms of kayfabe. So I think it makes sense. It's just the match just didn't perform the way people wanted.
I think partly, Becky has been main eventing here and there, so there's that part of it. It is her equivalence on the other brands. Okay, let's go with that. We don't have the 3 champions of the men's facing off. We're not going to have the mid cards be the main event.
Though. I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, same. But also, like the men's Survivor Series match, or even the women's weren't main event one, so the men's Survivor Series match could have main evented. I thought it was going to. Lesnar could have main evented.
Very
had
surprised
a problem.
It didn't.
But the women's triple threat, I didn't think it would, but I'm not surprised when they do, because like here's my favorite part about this. They didn't say, for the first time ever, the women are main eventing Survivor Series. It just did. That's what I've been wanting for 2 years. It just did main event because it was the main event. Thankfully, that's it. It's the main event because it is. Finally,
it was more of an. It was
the match might have been a letdown compared to what it was, but
I don't think the match was that bad. I think the match was a letdown because of its placement. I think though.
Yeah, it was fine, but it was more.
It was also after 8 hours.
On paper, it should have worked, but I mean, just sometimes
I have no problem with the main eventing.
It was more of an angle match than it was. It was more of an angle match than it was a fucking main event. It was more like setting storylines in place than it was like for some sort of big thing,
the ending.
I remembered what I hated, though, by the way. The one thing that I did think was not good that I was looking forward to, and this will lead into the transition of the topic that we were going to talk about.
Okay.
Brian and Bray was trash. I didn't like it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. It wasn't memorable, I thought.
I thought it was the weakest thing on the whole card.
We'll bounce back to that because it fiends its own topic.
So the reason why I felt this match, as far as the misplaced main event to me, I have nothing against. Obviously, all 3 of them are great in their own right. Just this, of all of the matches, this is one of the ones with the least story. The men's or women's.
What are you talking about?
As far as
I watched it from clips, and it was rabid, the story for these 3.
Rabid?
Interfering with each other on each other's shows. It was nuts. It was
doesn't really need a story, though, either, because all 3 of them are the best in the company, so they don't
but it had it. They were always trying to one-up each other. Becky was upset Bayley was upset about being left out. She was attacking both of them.
I know. I saw that. I watched all that.
Yeah.
I don't know about rabid.
That's the story. Oh, the crowd loved it. The crowd was into it.
During the match, the crowd didn't give a shit about the match.
I'm talking about the build-up. You're talking about the build-up. You said the build-up was shit.
Okay.
The build-up was. I'm defending the build-up. I know. Was it main event build-up? It can be, and they did. So
I much prefer the build-up of the Brock and Mysterio build-up. It was way better.
Yeah, but come on, you can't compare that to anything else because that was one of the better angles they've done in like the last year.
Yeah, no, that's some of the loudest I've heard crowds in a while. Was
I wouldn't have assumed that would main event the show. I did agree. I thought it was going to be the 5v5 with the men's, but
I will never count out Brock as a main event possibility.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Brock and Ray.
When I saw that wasn't the main event, I was like, good. So we get Brock and Ray. To me, the best build up on the show as the main event. I don't know. It just felt off.
And
now, if something
personally, I had zero interest in an actual Brock versus Ray because I don't buy Ray at all in this. Even though it was great and it was fun, I don't care.
Well, sure, he's the ultimate underdog. He's like the number one underdog in like WWE
but
history.
I don't give a shit. And part of what fucked it up was because the guy that's 100 pounds heavier, Kofi Kingston, got obliterated like nothing. So why does Ray have a chance? And
because it's no holds barred. He had a pipe and everything. That was his. Well, I mean, that's just the story that they were telling. But
yeah, you can hit Brock in the face with a chair and he'll get angry. What's Ray gonna do?
Well,
he can't swing it hard enough. And yeah. Honestly, a big reason I saw people upset about the main event was because they didn't have Ronda and they didn't have the Horsemen. Oh, the stuff they didn't do. Oh, it's a letdown. No, it doesn't all have to have that.
Well, that to me would if for example, if they had Ronda come out, or if they had stuff like that, if that did,
that's what I thought it was building up to. They talked about her a lot on the pre-show. Yeah.
Oh, if that did happen, I would have been. Totally different story here. I would not be questioning. I wouldn't be wondering why this made it. I would have been, oh, well, no shit. No wonder why. That makes perfect sense. This is going to build up to, whatever, who knows, four horsewomen later. Who knows? But that would have made sense. Without it, it seemed like the show, even with Baszler winning, which I was shocked. She got the clean win like that. That was, I know a lot of people hate Baszler. I actually really like Baszler. I was shocked when I saw that finish. And then she still got her ass beat by Becky, and the show ended with Becky just standing up on top.
Yeah, because the story is you might have won the match, but you didn't beat me, and now we build towards
I love the ending where Becky's standing holding her belt up, and the lower third's like, hey, NXT 4, 2, 1. I'm like, what the fuck? We're looking at she's a fucking loser, and Rand's a loser, and the show ends. It was funny.
She's got pride, and that's the whole goddamn point.
It just made no sense. But
there was no way she was gonna win and bring Raw up to tie. They had one, NXT had 3. So all she was in there for was pride, and she salvaged it at the end. She never got pinned, never got submitted. She beat up the person who won. That's pride. It's basic wrestling storytelling that builds to a match later.
Mm-hmm. It's so basic. It's wrestling 101. Who's the best?
It's literally it. All she went out there for was pride. That was the whole basis of the whole match. It wasn't an angle for the horsewomen. It wasn't anything else. If the horsewomen were ready, Shafir and Duke would have been in WarGames, and they fucking weren't. They are not ready for this.
That's true.
Yeah.
So people need to stop on that for right now until they actually get better. And it's been 2 years. I had no problem with this main eventing. It surprised me, but okay, no problem. Yeah, Becky's main event, sure.
So let's talk about how terrible Bray Wyatt is.
Please.
Okay. What you guys got?
He is absolute dog shit.
I want to throw my argument as to why, because I'm not just shitting on him, because I do think his character work is good.
I've got something along that I've said before, but I want to hear what you say, because you were fighting on this. So
I'm gonna throw out all my cons. I think Bray Wyatt is the new Kane. And do I like Kane? I always thought he's all right. Like, he's one of the, decent big guy. Can you name a single match in Kane's entire career that was like, whew, that was a great goddamn match? I can name one, and it happened on SmackDown versus Kurt Angle. That's it.
Well,
Bray Wyatt is
that led to the Mania match I saw with Angle, which wasn't as good, but I remember it was live.
He
was in the TLC, which was memorable because it was TLC. Blah blah. I got you.
I think
time out. Before you say that, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. He's a character wrestler. I don't think you're not going to be like, tell me what 5-star match Kane ever had. Kane's not a 5-star type wrestler. He's a more character.
Kane also wasn't put towards the title, though, and now he is. So there's a difference. If they gave Kane the belt, I would be critiquing Kane a lot harder, just like I'm critiquing Wyatt, because Wyatt's been given the belt.
Sure.
And I feel his in-ring work has been not even just like, okay, it's been trash. It's no good. So that match with Seth was a trash dud. That wasn't necessarily their fault. The booking, they were kind of put into a corner. But this match with Bryan, he's facing who I argue is the best wrestler currently alive on the planet today. Like, I think Bryan is technically the best. He is awesome. And that match sucked. And it was partly, I think, because of his lack of being a main event guy. I just don't think he has the skills. I think his character's a main event, but his skills are not. And that red lighting is fucking cancer. I absolutely hate it with every fiber of my being. I can't pay attention to anything. I can't see anything that's happening. I can't get invested. Another point that I have is I can't stand his build-ups to matches because it's always the same fucking thing every single week. Oh, lights went out. Oh, he appears. Mandible claw. He laughs and screams. The end. They could do so much more creative stuff with him. Taker has a similar gimmick back in the day. They would do all kinds of stuff. Like, it wasn't always the same. Oh, Taker, lights come out. He's in the ring. The end. Like, they would do weird satanic stuff or like all kinds of different things. Firefly Funhouse, still fun. I like it. Like, it's still entertaining. But when we get to like what actually like the meat and potatoes of Bray Wyatt, he's just not there. I think he's an average worker that has a good character, but it's a combination of the lighting needs to go immediately. Yep. And the fact that he's okay. He's an average worker. He is in one of my least favorite WWE title matches in WrestleMania history, him and Orton. It is unwatchable garbage. It is that fucking bad. And so I'm over it. I wish I wasn't, because I still like the character. I know they can salvage it, but I think they're on cruise control right now. I think that company's making so much fucking money that unless you step up to the plate, like I'm guessing they do with Lesnar and Ray, because that was excellent. I just think he's starting to bore me. I couldn't believe he had a match with Daniel Bryan that I didn't care about.
And I kind of want to jump on a bit of that.
Yeah, that's my point, by the way. So
because they had a great match at the Rumble years back.
They did. Yeah, that was
so good.
Yeah.
I said this during the Discord live event reactions last night the night before during Survivor Series. How like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, everything is awesome, but it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's great theme. Like the look, everything is really awesome. That red lighting was not there for the Balor match at SummerSlam. Yeah. And it was, and that was a so motivated, fast, brisk, like, holy shit. Oh, yeah. He's doing the same stuff, but oh God. But then like, when Kane debuted way back in the day to make this fun, he had the red lighting. And it was bad. Apparently, from some of the guys who were there, the red lighting is not as bad live, but it comes across horrible on TV. So
it's like a virtual boy the whole time.
That's what I was.
Yeah, it makes it hard to watch. But the thing I compare it to is when the match started, I was like, oh, right, it's this now. Was the same reaction I had back at WrestleMania 20 when Undertaker came back and he was facing Kane. It was all epic, and he came out with the old dead man style, and he comes out, and my friends and I were marking out. It was awesome, and it was fun. And then the bell rings, and I go, oh, shit, now we got to watch Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah.
It was that kind of like, oh, everything up to the match was good. Now we got to watch this. That's Bray Wyatt. Now, if it was the SummerSlam Bray Wyatt, holy fuck, do this all the time, especially with Bryan. Yeah. What it seems like is they went, oh, this was the stuff they liked. We'll do that now. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel like it's able to be what it could be. But it's so close because we just saw it. I still hated what they did at Hell in a Cell, where he took such a beating. Oh, you can't stop him. Yeah, but you can stop him enough where he doesn't win. That's all you really got to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's the matter? Like, oh, you're still good. You're retained. It's fine. He's not that much of a threat. But this with Bryan, like, it was whatever. And I mean, Bryan was good, but it just didn't click. And we've seen them click before, and it was just the way the new Fiend is being done that bugs me.
And so, as far as my thoughts go, I will agree with a couple things. I will agree that so far, especially early on, they should not be duplicating, what he does each show. He shouldn't come out and just lights go out. He shows up, does the same thing with Mandible Claw, over. I agree, especially this early on. You should have more ideas this early still. I will agree with that. I will agree. I think everybody agrees. The red lighting is stupid. It's not good. It's okay that they tried it. They should have abandoned it by now. Obviously, they have a plan for it. I don't know what that plan is. I really do think they have a plan with when he
like
loses?
Undertaker shows up and maybe like the lighting hits and Undertaker puts his hands up and it changes to purple and then it just comes down like he puts an end to it. They could do something.
They definitely have something planned, or they would have. I assume
I don't know
they would have.
I think they just thought it was different.
He's on SmackDown. It should be a blue light.
Oh God! There you go. That's funny. That's what I was saying earlier.
His title officially, like
I hate that belt.
We've seen people bring out different titles, like Edge customized the belt, Cena customized the different stuff. Like you're back and forth. JBL brought one back. Everything. The official reason that the Universal title is blue is because Bray Wyatt magically changed it on the Firefly Funhouse. Yeah. That's a thing.
And that one he tweeted out that like it was the custom one he was going to use before he lost the belt abruptly on his last run. That was one of the coolest looking fucking belts I've seen in quite some time, and it fits the character.
Yeah, like "Let Me In" was like etched into it and stuff, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
Somebody had a great idea that on the Firefly Funhouse he's got the blue championship, but when he comes out he converts it into that because everything he touches turns to like horror. Like, oh, that's so good. Nope.
Exactly. Yeah. No. That does sound good.
It just seems like they got something. It was going somewhere, and it's easy for me to say after I've said we don't know how corporate works, but it just feels like it was going on a trajectory, and then the corporate side went, "Yeah, that's perfect. It always do that," and it wasn't able to go up anymore. It just had to keep going where it was, and it's not been able to change from what it was, and that's how you get stale. He himself came up with this shit, like you can watch a video from years ago. So there's some cool shit he's probably wanting to do, but for all we know, Fox and WWE are like, no, that's what makes the money though. Right now, this is what it is. So it's easy to say that, but we just don't know.
So besides those two things, I don't really agree on much else as far as not liking, the Fiend or Bray Wyatt or whatever. I really am I have nothing wrong with him taking a fuck ton of damage and getting back up. I like that part of the character. I know a lot of people hate it that he gets beat up and he can't ever get put down. And I see people argue, well, how is he ever going to lose? He'll never be able to lose. Of course he can. Daniel Bryan almost beat him in that match with a roll up. You can always beat somebody with a roll up. He came very close. You don't have to incapacitate him to beat him.
It's like old school Undertaker, where you can hit him enough before he sits up. Just do it. Get capitalized. Yeah. That's all it is.
And I think you're missing one thing, though. You have to actually have the desire to watch his matches for him to be rolled up. And right now, when he's on, my brain just goes on cruise control.
Now, that's the other thing. His match with Finn Balor, I fucking loved it. I really, really liked that match.
It was significantly better, yeah.
The way he fought, I really think the biggest damper on all of this is the red fucking lighting. I think people think all of the matches suck automatically, but the Hell in a Cell match was not that bad. The ending was horrible. One of the worst decisions.
Really no,
it was really paced. It was totally paced. They took too long to do the things they were doing.
It was just so boring.
Maybe I'm just in the minority on that one. I didn't.
No, I liked it. I liked it too. But it started to drag. It's like, just get fucking on with it. We know what you're doing. Hit him with the thing already. Just do it. Yeah. And they were trying to get over how epic it was. Just hit him.
The ending, I agree 100%, was the worst fucking ever. But the match with Daniel Bryan, that match got the biggest reaction of the entire night. The yes chants were the loudest I heard that crowd the entire night.
Welcome to Daniel Bryan, yes chants. Yeah.
I don't know though. I think it was a huge mistake to turn him babyface so soon. His heel work was so good, and then Kofi kind of derailed it, which again, you got to roll with it because Kofi was, the flavor of the month. Go with it. Like, you're going to make money with him. But I stand by it. The title should have went back to Bryan, and we should have gotten more of the vegan warrior because that character had so much more going for him. And you slowed him down. He had momentum. And then now you just, out of nowhere, you're like, oh, now he's just a good guy. They didn't even give a reason why he became a good guy. There was not. He just one day he was just like, oh, I like Roman now because now I don't like Rowan, and that's just it. At the end, it was so lazy.
I will say
that was the.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't feel he's a full-on good guy. I feel he's more of a tweener right now.
I think he's a full-on good guy.
He came down.
His match proves it. He was a full good guy.
Yeah, babyface all the way. He's playing to the fucking fans. Unless this is a long-term swerve, it's not. He's on Fox. They need more big baby faces right now because for some reason they refuse to just make Bray Wyatt like an Undertaker face. He's got to be like a heel that still attacks everybody.
They're cheering him as the face, though.
Who?
fucking Bray Wyatt. They're treating him like a face. The fans
kinda, but once he's the Fiend, he's basically a heel. It could be interesting if they explored it more, but they don't. Because again, he just does the same shit every week, so it's not like
he's more a tweener. The whole character's fucking garbage. The way they're booking him, he's trash in the ring. I'm sorry, he's just trash in the ring. He's unmotivated.
I agree. I disagree with that one. I don't think he's that bad.
He's unmotivated. He's trash in the ring. I don't like his matches. I don't like his work.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he's booked. He's booked as this unstoppable monster. He's getting cheered as a fucking face. Faces should never be unstoppable, as far as I'm concerned. They should be vulnerable to some extent. And I mean, if you're gonna book him as a full on heel, you got to make him less cool to all the little kiddies. And he's fucking cool as shit to some people for some reason. I think the character's trash. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
I just think it's dumb. But yeah, I have no time for fucking Bray Wyatt. He just ruins other people that he goes up against. For me, he's kind of the same as Randy Orton. He just kind of kills people's momentum, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I don't think that they're at all booking him like a face. I know the crowds are cheering for him, but I don't think that especially in today's day and age, you know, what the fuck does that mean? Because everybody cheers the heels and boos the faces, but they're definitely not booking him like a face. So he is getting cheered. I'll give you that. He does get cheers, and because his entrance is fucking amazing. That lamp with his mouth open and the fucking all that is great. The music is awesome. There's so much that I like about this character. I know there's no problem that we have different opinions, but I really, really like the Fiend character, and I think if they lost the red lighting and they change up every single time he's in a program with somebody, even though he's only been in 2, I think.
He's been in 3. Balor, he did the same thing. Whatever. Like, just there's so much creative license they can take with that character, and they just refuse to do any of it. They're just doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah, they should definitely start doing different things as far as showing up, Man of a Claw, disappear. Besides, like I said, those 2 things, I really fucking like them. I like it. It's just me, though. It's just me.
For me,
his matches are hard to watch and not that great.
For me, it's just Bray Wyatt in a dumb mask.
Well, there you go.
It's a cool mask. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's a cool fucking mask. But it is just Bray Wyatt. I do think
that becomes opinions of what you like, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me at all. I'm just looking at this and like such cornball bullshit. I don't care.
I 100% will say this as a longtime Undertaker fan. If they did this right, they could make this work as a modern version of that. And they could make that work in that way where it's like, the fuck do you do with this guy? Because Undertaker originally wasn't all supernatural bullshit. It was like, is he? What is he? It's mind games. What is it? We don't fucking know, but he won't go down. That was the kind of attitude towards him for like a decade.
Yeah.
And Bray Wyatt, we know this guy for a long time, and now he's doing this. Like, what the hell is he doing now? But then they're like, oh my God, what is he? He's Bray Wyatt in a mask. Like, you know that. You've seen him for 5 years. This is not a weird thing. But, like, what's he going through? How is this working? Very much like a Mankind thing. The personas give the different aspects and things like that. They could easily get an Undertaker level of thing with this if they just embrace it and let him be a face that has the bad guys bounce off him. That's easy.
Yeah, wait, are you saying
almost already there?
Are you saying they need to let him be they need to turn him to be a face? Is that what you're saying?
No, they just need to have him face heels.
Yeah, because he works.
Change nothing.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes, if you want to make him a true tweener, where he faces heels that would make him faces, a tweener, yeah. But right now he just comes off as like what Mankind eventually became, like the sort of weirdo anti-hero character almost. Where
imagine. Go ahead.
The crowd turned him basically because the crowd likes him so much because they think he's so cool, right? Because they get off on the fucking funhouse bullshit and they get off on. And there's like no one wants to boo him.
Yeah. No.
Except for me, because I think he's dog shit. But you know,
think of this: if we had the champion versus champion versus champion, you would have had Adam Cole, the cocky prick heel that everybody loves to cheer, but they love seeing him get his ass beat, versus Brock Lesnar, who people love to see and have bad things done to him, but also do crazy shit, and the Fiend, who's the heel that everybody cheers because he's perceived as cool. They would have been ridiculous. Like, who would they cheer for? All of them. Who would they boo? All of them. It would have been fun. It would have been a great, crazy match to see those 3 interact.
But then you got the problem. But then you get the problem of who wins. So I mean, yeah.
Well, you know what? That's not our problem. That's for them to do as the people who make the matches. I'm never going to fault them for having to pick a winner in their professional wrestling storylines they've been doing for 60 years. Boo-hoo! You got to figure out who wins.
Fuck
off. That's what they do.
Careful now. There are definitely scenarios where you can't have certain people win over certain people. It can ruin people in certain ways. It can mess up stories. It can do that stuff. So
and you end up pinning Walter and doing it anyway.
Well, Walter.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. That's Walter was 100. If there was once they showed the NXT team, I was sitting here and on stream, I remember going, "Holy shit! Riddle and Walter are both in the team. That's awesome!" And then 3 minutes in, did they just fucking pin Walter?
Did you hear the crowd chanting?
Oh yeah, because he was he was getting chants before they pinned him. Yeah.
And Riddle, let's talk about that. Riddle pinning Orton, crowd goes
awesome.
Nuts. It's amazing. It's epic. It's awesome. Crazy. Gets taken out. Oh,
yeah, because I wouldn't have pinned Walter. I would have. I mean, if I was going to make Walter lose, if I was going to make him get eliminated,
if you're going to have Braun get counted out, have them just go
count them out together. Yep.
Yeah, that could happen in a. That to me, that was the only dumb part of that match was the count out.
Yeah, me too. Well, the stuff with Keith at the end was awesome. That was so good. I don't even like him that much. Okay, so
Ciampa was great trying to DDT Orton doing his thing for it. Ciampa really came off great, but then Keith Lee, my God, he killified Roman Reigns.
Yeah. No.
And
I thought
he's gonna pin him. Oh my God,
Roman sold like $1 million for him too.
Yeah. It was really good, really good.
Yeah, that Keith Lee was made that night. That would have been a perfect thing to end the show on it, I think too. And Roman's your ending guy on top, and you also put over Keith Lee in a huge way.
You also wouldn't have known how people would have reacted to Roman pinning Keith at that point. So I think they went with what they thought was a safe bet, which was the NXT going over in the triple threat, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah. At the same time, Chad Gable with his suplex death of Ricochet was also awesome. Where he just kind of caught him, walked around, and threw him. There was some really fun stuff.
I thought everybody
so much better.
That was a really good. I really liked that. To me, that was
a fun match.
Probably my favorite match of the show, if not. I think
it's because of the interaction with the NXT guys. That's why. Because it was so much fun watching Riddle in there with Orton, or like watching, Riddle again in there with Chad Gable. Like it was great watching them all interact with fresh opponents.
Yep.
Well, and that's something that as I said during the stream last night, but one of the things I didn't like was the fact that they just had the teams come out to the show music. It's fun having all the entrances. Oh,
yeah. I kind of like that though. It works. It gives the match more time too.
That would have been 15
so I'm okay with
different
that.
entrances though.
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But I get it.
I'm with you. I love entrances. I'm with you.
But at the same time, Cole and Dunn was also a crazy fun good match.
Yeah,
it was an amazing counter. Holy shit, the ending counter was great.
That match, I don't know if it really started really slow, but the crowd didn't seem to give a fuck halfway through. They definitely woke up and they won the fans over for sure, which I really like.
Two reasons. It was the first title match of its kind in a while with two NXT guys with a crowd that kind of knows but's been tired and not knowing what's going on. And it was a takeover match, so it had time and got there. So they knew what they were doing. They built the crowd up. Like a lot of matches we see, and I'll pick on AJ and Shinsuke, but they've had matches which were great, but placed poorly, so the crowd didn't connect. Mm-hmm. These guys were able to connect in this match.
Yeah,
I don't know if they modified anything or did whatever, but it was a takeover match. Those always connect, so it just worked on Survivor Series.
I think as far as endings go, one of the best of the night. Those guys really took on the end of that match was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It was great.
It was a pump handle into the Panama Sunrise. I didn't even when he did that. I didn't even fucking understand the logistics on that. I used to be in the ring. It was great. How would you even do that?
He lifts him up to flip him for the bitter end, but that literally puts him in a position to be able to fall down for the sunrise. And God.
I never would have thought to do that.
And the thing was, it wasn't perfect, but that's some of the stuff that I like the best is when it looks like real and he actually really did that, as opposed to it's absolutely perfect, crystal clear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great!
I like that stuff.
That's one of the biggest problems of NXT is they're so well trained that everything almost all the time is fucking just right across the board perfect. No, I want to see fuck ups. I want to see it look like a real fight.
Yeah,
and that's you get some stuff like when Keith Lee hit Roman or Rhea to Sasha, just planting them. It's all right, you earned it. That's pretty great. You guys are killing it. So
yeah,
good show though. I mean, that's all there is to it. It was a good show. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
I think the biggest shock to me was Roderick Strong fucking winning. Wow,
that was great. That
I am
match
not
was
surprised.
awesome.
He stole it. I am not surprised by that. I love that match though.
I was watching a PWG match in front of my eyes in 2019 on WWE on a pay-per-view.
With 3 WWE champions at the Survivor
Oh,
Series.
man. That was so
But I
great.
mean-
With the US, IC, and North America. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, Roderick Strong has like improved, but like he was always good in the ring, but he's improved by leaps and bounds since he's come on to the Fed. Though, like he's so good now that like you can kind of see that. Yeah, we might want to get behind this guy because he's actually cutting good promos now.
Well, I wouldn't say good, but better.
I wouldn't say good either.
Well,
I think
I don't
Jake
know.
on his,
Better than
he opens
before.
his mouth and it's like, ugh.
I think it's about 10 or 20 times better than what he
used to do.
Oh, I agree with that.
Well,
yes. Yep.
Consider this, Matt. I remember way back when we were talking about how the Arrow would flounder if they called them up. And because it's just a bunch of generic wrestler guys like Fish, O'Reilly, and Strong. And I'm like, watching Strong go in there toe-to-toe with Styles and Nakamura, it was like, this is how you make it work. You just bring him in like the level he is at their level and say, go. And the crowd's already like, yeah, no, this guy's awesome.
Fish and O'Reilly looked real. They looked like little children fighting men.
Yeah.
It was still fun
during the match. It was
The
fun,
new-
but they
New Day
definitely
and Raiders?
looked like they weren't really there.
Oh, no, I thought they did. I thought that was like, I mean, that's the point. They're in there with monsters. How can they survive? And it worked well. Like their story was told well, I thought.
Something about Roderick Strong that I had to point out that the night before for the War Games, when he was the first one coming down to the War Games, he came walking down the ramp and just points. I forgot who the fuck he was starting with. I think it was Ciampa. He points the ring and goes, "You're gonna get it now. You're gonna." It just looks so. I was like, I just screamed like out loud. How fucking generic are you, dude? Like it was so bad and corny. Like you're gonna get it now. Like that was his voice
but I like
and
it
tone.
because the whole Undisputed Era are just dicky little heels, though.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're dicky white guys.
I don't want everybody to be a badass who says cool stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Well,
you want those guys like that who can still back it up anyway, even though he's a smarmy prick.
And during the match, he was like the Arn Anderson of the fucking War Games match, though.
Yeah.
So it was like it was.
And again, he stole the triple threat. He stole it, which I figured that's the perfect way to do it. Yeah, which is the character. It's perfect.
Yeah. So. As far as I thought that match, that triple threat was going to be, on paper, again, that's like lights out, like, holy fuck, this match is going to be amazing. I don't think it ever really got to that point, but I don't think it was bad.
It was great.
I'm not saying it was bad, but on paper, that to me should have been the match of the night. Looking at AJ, Nakamura, Strong, you think that would be the match of the night. And
if they had replaced Nakamura with Bryan, it would have been.
And which was the rumor for a while. He was going to win the title.
Nakamura was the weak link, but he's still good, but weak link.
You go down those what ifs. What if Velveteen Dream hadn't lost it to Strong and you had Velveteen in there with AJ and Shinsuke? And like, what would that have been? And yeah, you get some goofy match ideas with what almost happened.
If Velveteen would have finally got on a WWE show, oh man, so good.
Against those two?
Yeah.
No, it's better. It's better that he's out right now because you don't want to just toss him out there randomly.
No,
I mean,
but he'll come back.
Deal.
Sure, yeah, he'll be great. I guess the only really thing we didn't talk about on the show is the important thing, that is the Brock Lesnar Rey Mysterio actual match. What were you guys' thoughts on that?
I was really drunk at that point. I don't remember it.
Oh, you don't remember that
It
one?
was
not really. No.
Dominic is over as fuck, and he learned from his dad Eddie how to do a frog splash.
Yeah.
He can bump. The kid can fucking bump.
I got you.
Yeah.
And when I saw a different angle of the double 619, dude, they've hit that so good. Like the original angle on TV didn't look great, but I saw like a alternate angle of it and it looked fucking great. They both hit it like perfect. Brock sold it beautifully. I really, really enjoyed that match. I think it's getting a little bit of I hate Brock Lesnar, bullshit heat online that people are, hating on it. But I think that was a really well done match for, Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar 2019. I thought it was pretty damn solid.
I'll just hold it. I'm getting a little signal in here. I know the reason why Dominic is so good right now.
Oh God.
It's cutting into our feet here. This has been Shepard from Pro Wrestling Poop Face Bullshit. Lance Storm has been secretly training Dominic for 3 months now, and they're going to put him on the main roster and give him the IC title. That's what I've been told by a source in the WWE, and if you agree with me, you're a piece of shit, and I'll slander you online.
So yeah, that I even tweeted about the Brad Shepard guy. what can you say? The dude's the fucking worst of the worst.
Well, because Lance
Mentally
Storm was
ill.
like, I haven't even started yet. What are you talking about?
And that's just like the latest example. Like people, I mentioned that there's a lot of negative people, like a lot of people, Jim Cornette's one of those, and there's several other ones. But to me, this Brad Shepard guy's the fucking worst of the worst.
Never heard of him.
Well, good.
You're lucky.
It goes up there with the idea that people are saying the IC title change, which, by the way, it looks pretty, but it's too generic and it doesn't really stand out.
No, I love it.
I like it,
but
I like it better, to be fair, but I don't see like, oh, IC title. It's like, ooh, that's a shiny belt. But people are saying that is done because of Cody, because Cody brought the white one back.
Was that guy the one that started that?
He might have been. I don't know. But my attitude toward that is, if that was true, then they would have changed that belt like a year ago. When they wouldn't have waited till now. That would have been changed immediately, and they would have used the prop one to be different until they made a new one. Like this was not done because of Cody.
Yeah,
they would have done it sooner than that.
No, that's the conspiracy theory, dumb bullshit stuff. That's
this is a good transition because there's only one other topic I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
so
what's up?
So I had heard this rumor, and it's all hearsay. This is all just no confirmation whatsoever. I'm just saying interesting things that were said to me. Okay. First, A3K on our show, Andrew 3000. Mm-hmm. It was like a month and a half ago. We were at a party, and he was like, "Did you hear about what happened with Jericho and Kylie Ray?" And I was like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Like, I know she quit, and I understood that. Like, she had mental health issues or something. She wasn't really clear about what happened. She just kind of left the company, right? Which is weird. Because I was at the AW show where she was in the Battle Royal, and real talk, she was going to be the first champion, not Rio. It was going to be her. She had the best reaction. She's great in the ring. Seems like a phenomenal human being to represent your company. So I think she was going to win it. But then all of a sudden she just vanished, right? Well, he was like, there was a rumor that Jericho had apparently, again, all hearsay, invited essentially she was told like, hey, we're all meeting up at Jericho's room, gonna have drinks and have a party. She shows up and it's just Jericho, and like some stuff went down. And I was like, so I went and looked online, didn't see anybody talking about this. I'm like, where the fuck did he hear this? Like, I was like, you know what? Honestly, it sounds like bullshit. Well, then 3 or 4 days ago, my buddy, who is an independent wrestler in New York, goes, you hear about the Jericho Kylie Ray stuff? And I went, oh, wait a minute. They don't, A3K and him don't know each other at all. So I'm like, what? Okay, what do you know? And he goes, basically Jericho is known to sleep around quite a bit with a lot of female wrestlers. Now, this is cool with his wife, apparently, because they're like swingers. Like, she fucks other dudes too. It's not like, that's not the issue here. The issue is, he knows at least that's what he's saying. He knows 2 female workers personally where he wrestles that fucked Jericho. So he's saying like he does do this kind of stuff. And so the big rumor is he confirmed that whole story about how like essentially got invited up, thought it was a party, wasn't. And so when shit hit the fan after this, because essentially like, I guess like it wasn't that there was so much like, he didn't say no, didn't say yes. It was just kind of those things where he felt pressured into it. And we were joking to Tom when we were doing a stream, and he's like, well, maybe Jericho had a little too much of the bubbly.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, but the rumor is that she went to the cons after this to complain, and they basically just paid her off to take a hike. And now she's starting to come back on Instagram with the way she's, read her posts. I mean, they're very, I think she's got a story personally.
Well, I'll just say one thing, because there was rumors about how apparently Brandy Rhodes and her had a dust up, and that was why she left. And there was that rumor going around. I hadn't heard anything about the Jericho thing, but I saw a post today about someone was like, oh, just come clean and say the real thing. We all know what happened. Just come out and say it.
I'm with her. If that's what happened and that bullshit went down, I would turn on Jericho pretty fast, because that's bullshit. I mean, like, that's especially with the cons being...
This is going to be a new beginning, a new company, new thing. We're going to start over and treat everybody fairly. He tried to do this. Yeah, but he's our guy, though.
I mean it when I say, if this is true, and it's not that it's true would have been the problem, but if the cons actually did pay her off to cover this up, I mean, that's AEW's done. I mean, it's done. Because like,
it's me too. You're dead. You're done.
I mean, and that sucks, because I love this company more than I like WWE by leaps and bounds. But it's like, not only would you apparently have the boys who knew he did this and stuck by him and kept wrestling and kept their mouths shut. More importantly, my friend that's the wrestler goes, the real thing that bothered him is like, the girls know this happened and they're still wrestling with that company. He's like, they could have just, all of them gotten together and been like, until you fix this, we're not going to perform for your company. But yet they just took the payday and just kept wrestling.
Well,
and so I hope it's bullshit. But that really made me second guess, say it as bullshit. I think that there's at least a grain of salt in here somewhere, and I think it's going to explode soon.
Hopefully it is.
I was gonna say it is possible that he does do this, and they're trying to say that that's what happened to her.
He comes from the old school way of things, man. They used to fuck chicks like ring rats. So
no, but what I'm saying is, just because she left doesn't mean this is why. But it's easy to try to connect them, and they might be trying to target.
Because he's so old school, I could easily see him falling into that habit. Whereas the new guys don't seem to do that.
He'll tell us about it in his 7th book. It'll be fine.
Well, oh Jesus!
but have you guys heard like the speculation that the weirdness between Kenny Omega and Riho, how he's
grooming her is what he's doing.
Like, this is the little girl that he had a match with in Japan years ago.
She's
training since she was like in her early teens or even younger.
Is that the one he had the famous match with?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
There's been speculation that he's been kind of creepily grooming her for all these years. And that's why she's got the title right now, because he's fucking this girl he's been grooming like Ted Nugent style for years.
I don't know about that one.
What is happening all of a sudden?
I don't know about that one.
No, I've heard that.
Oh, they said Rio was not the 9-year-old.
Declined that. No, there was someone similar.
Well, that's good.
No, like, as I'd hear rumors and stuff like this, and I just, hey, it's wrestling, it's entertainment, it's all weird. But it just became, at least I'd say, a 10% possibility in my brain from a 0 when my buddy, like, I trust this guy. And for him to say that he's worked shows with women who have claimed, that Jericho likes fucking hot women that like wrestling and his wife's cool with it, that sounds possible. And if that's possible, I could see them connecting this whole thing with that situation.
I will say this. If that's the truth, that'd
be really bad.
Well, first of all, there's I don't see anything wrong with if Jericho and his wife are okay with them having sex with people, then there should be nothing wrong. If Jericho wants to bang 20 different wrestlers and chicks, that's cool. Yeah. As long as
everybody's consenting.
Yeah, as long as there's nothing wrong, Jericho can go fuck whoever the fuck he wants. Now, if something happened weird where something did go down that wasn't wanted, in the cons or covering something, this sounds like super like elaborately, tinfoil hat stuff, but if something like that were to take place, then obviously that's when I started, obviously have a problem with if there was something went down, but maybe.
I think she's going to talk eventually, so we'll see.
See, I don't see it as tinfoil hatty, where it's just a case of like, it's easier, just, we'll cut our losses, you're out. You're out of your contract. That's fine. That's not like a major conspiracy in the case of like, oh, it was all elaborate or planned. It's like, you know what? We'll pay you off. Let's both walk.
It could have been like a case of like, each of them had a different story going on essentially.
Now,
and like both of them had something that was shady or whatever on both sides, and they just cut their losses. But
this whole thing is admittedly as easily to be misconstrued as the fact of, hey, did you hear that racist thing Jim Cornette said?
Yeah. Sure.
You literally have the case where Jericho invites girls up. Apparently it was supposed to be just a party. Maybe she thought it was a party. Maybe he's like, we'll have a party. And that's how it was meant. It's like, it's going to be us, obviously. A bit of the bubbly. And she didn't, and she misinterpreted it and gets there, and that's not cool. If he
Sorry.
Oh, wait, it's fine. But
that meme completely changes if this comes out. Like, that is going to go from funny to rapey.
Yeah.
It's Bill Cosby all over. But the idea that he misled her, that's not cool. That's I don't like that of its own accord, but okay.
Sure.
But if he brought her up there to do a thing and she's not into it, okay, you know what? Whatever, it's fine. And you go to your boss and they're like, that's where you draw that line. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I don't care what else happened, even if she didn't get misconstrued. She's like, I don't like that conduct. And we're into this new league with a HR type thing worse than the other. Oh fuck, that's not good.
I personally, obviously don't know anything 100%. I just literally heard this 2 seconds ago. I'm not gonna give any credit to any of that until something more would come out. Like if she says something or if Jericho agrees with something like that. I just read that in the chat.
He gave her the balls of Jericho.
I saw that. That's good. That's good. That's great.
His bottle flow. It's over.
Shout out to JT Savage in the chat there, the live chat.
But yeah, the wow,
that's good.
The real bad part though is if. And man, I really hope none of this is true. But I mean, if
of course,
but
yeah.
if the fucking if that's true and the Kenny Omega thing is true, what kind of weird ass fucking culture is going on behind the scenes?
I don't know, because I've heard the Young Bucks are supposed to be like, because we have friends of friends, and they are supposed to be saints. Like in real life, they're supposed to be some of the best. Good, like take care of their friends, like just
we know that.
Good old religious boys, like they're just literally saints. They're supposed to be great people to know, good contacts. That's why they have so many friends. And if they knew that happened, it didn't do anything about it. I don't. That would make me question good people. To be honest,
man, they'd start losing their hair over it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It all depends on how much they actually know when we're told. There's always that aspect.
It could have been
too,
kept
right?
down on the low. I just feel like if you work in that organization,
she just wanted to leave, and that's all. And it really could just be a case where she's like, you know what, this isn't the place for me. I don't want to be here. Can you buy out my contract? Yeah, was there a thing? There's a thing. I just don't want to talk about it. Let me leave. And she leaves. And Jericho did that, but there's not a cover up. They just happen to have that incident. She's like, I'm fucking out. Okay, you're out. Sure. It could be that. And there's not actually
the balls of Jericho.
God.
You know what the worst part about that is, though, Matt, is that if they made a Balls of Jericho shirt, it would be the top seller at Hot Topic.
100%. Yeah.
AEW's t-shirt department is fantastic.
And how about
AEW has more than
one?
a t-shirt department?
How about new one, the Pussy Tamer?
Oh God.
Oh,
the Lion Tamer.
No, see these all these jokes. If that does come to be true,
it's even worse.
Then we are canceled. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, this is Shepard from Pro Wrestling Thingy.
Yep.
Just in Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho running a brothel out of Ethiopia.
Oh my God. So,
hey Chris, where is everybody else? Oh, come on into the bathroom here, and I'll give you a little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Wow. Well, there you go. This is our Thanksgiving episode, so I'm really glad we're nailing this one.
I'm thankful we gave you guys
turkey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's one other thing to remember about being on top and being hated. You want that, I believe, too, with Seth and stuff.
That kind of goes into the top guy or woman.
Yeah. Because people hate Becky now,
is an
absolute.
Yes, they. Motherfucker! Yes.
Twitter's turned on her.
Twitter, Facebook. In Facebook,
Twitter is not reality. Nobody hates Becky.
Bullshit.
Seth is just a dick in real life, and that's why people turned on him.
Bullshit.
Yeah, well, fair.
Seth caused Seth's own problems. Seth needed to shut the fuck up, and he kept talking, and come on. And nobody hates Becky.
You got a guy in your chat right now. Tado for real says I can't stand Becky.
The casuals don't. You're right. The casuals don't. I think Bomber's
they're all behind Becky. Seth is just a dumbass, and he needs to shut his.
I disagree.
But the Bomber, to your point, the internet fans who are the ones that you're pointing out here.
Sure, yeah, that's always the downfall.
Marks. Yeah, they're the ones who hate it. Yeah,
don't
don't. But that's kind of what his point is. Like,
I wish
it's cool to hate the number one thing. Is how it always seems to be.
I don't think that's it though, because Brian was at the top for a while, and nobody turned and booed on him. Like there are people that get into the top slot that don't get booed. Seth opened his mouth like a fucking moron. Roman was booked really badly, so that's why they turned on him. Same with Cena, booked really badly, booked too strong. Like there's reasons behind it. Seth is just. He caused his own downfall by being stupid. He was just constantly dumb, saying stupid shit. It didn't help that they didn't do him any favors by making him, Becky's like cucked bitch. But at the end of the day, I saw Seth going like, "Oh, it's because I'm number one now. You guys are all turning on me." I don't think he's number one. I think he was getting there, and then he opened his stupid mouth, and people were like, "Why is he?" saying stupid shit.
He was I would agree. He was. I mean, I would argue that he was the top guy. He was the top wrestler pretty much in the company. The top.
They were positioning
the top promoted guy.
He showed he can't handle it. He can't handle the pressure of being the guy.
I agree with that.
He showed that if somebody is going to talk shit online, that he's going to say dumb shit back, and that is. I agree. A lot of people have said
he's in a position that's different than these people.
That he shouldn't do that. I agree. people were saying, well, when Roman was on top and he was getting shit on, he wasn't lashing out. And you were right. 100% Seth Rollins should not have jumped out there. I don't personally see anything wrong with him defending a lot of the stuff that he said about how, WWE isn't shit, like all that kind of stuff where he says he's the best, nobody can do that stuff. It
started in one place though, Ospreay. Like his shit with Ospreay is where we all started going like, why are you being dumb? Like it was cool when they were shooting. I like their initial reaction. It was fun where they were like throwing how many matches they had. Like it was cool. I was like, I like this. This is fun. And then once he was like, I got more money than you. Well, fuck off, Seth. Like, the fuck? You ruined it.
That was the only downfall of that whole exchange to me was the money. Yeah. That was dumb. We definitely talked about that on the show.
He doesn't handle losing very well. I see he can like dish it out, but when somebody like basically like pins him 1, 2, 3 in the Twitterverse, he goes back to the money every time. And it's like, there's nothing more obnoxious than a rich person telling you they're rich.
Somebody else, the fuck up, Seth. I forgot who it was. There was somebody else that people like that I saw did that. I shouldn't have brought this up because I don't remember who it was. And nobody said a fucking word to who that was because they really liked the person. But somebody said something about like money and how much they have a while back. But it just, I don't know. I stand by it that if you're on the top, it's the curse of being on the top of the company, male, female, whatever.
Austin was on top for years and they never turned on him.
He means recent. He means in the past like year or two.
Yes, I think. Let me try to think for a second to win this. I really feel started. I guess almost probably Cena wise. Yes, Cena was on top for a long time, but ever since
it's because they don't get behind people for a long period of time anymore. Though they used to pick even with Cena, they pick people and stick with them. Now you have a new guy on top every 3 months. Like it rotates all the time. So I think it's because maybe the problem is unlike Cena and Roman, like they're actually trying to listen to fans and rotate people in and out. But it's like Seth probably should have gotten a run. But the only reason that Seth is not on top still is because he opened his stupid fucking mouth too many times.
And he gets booed just as much as anybody else. And we say, it's only
he's a heel now. And they went,
yes. And now it'll work, though. Now it's good. It'll work.
He did a full turn, and people are going to argue, too. Oh, well, he's got that wrong kind of heat. Fuck you. If you're getting booed, I made this argument with Baron Corbin, but if you're getting booed, you're doing the right thing. So no matter what, I thought Corbin still is one of the top faces. I said that before. I still say it now. He's one of the best faces in WWE right now.
Baron Corbin is one of the best faces.
Oh, sorry. Heels. Heels. I honestly slipped up. Heels. Okay.
Yes. You said it twice though. That's what really confused me.
Oh,
who do you mean?
Corbin.
Baron Corbin is one of the best heels. That's what I meant.
There
you
go. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Because
I think his King gimmick is actually bigger. I like it. It's actually good for a cocky prick like he's trying to be.
I fucking hate it. They do.
He's like a 5-year-old. I don't.
True. But it's better. It's more than the nothingness that he was.
It's why the King of the Ring never works anymore, is because everyone who fucking does it gets that stupid gimmick where they have to wear the fucking robes and Cindy, I am the king. It worked with Booker T because it was
I think Corbin's doing good with it though. You don't think so?
He's doing all right.
I think it's holding him back now. I think it gave him a nice boost, and now instead of him he should have come out, worn it a couple times, and then thrown it in the trash, burned it, and then been like, "I'm my own man," blah blah blah, moved on. But now it reminds me of it's like, oh, this is the new guy, this is the new joke that Hulk Hogan's gonna beat the shit out of in front of the kiddies. So it just doesn't. I don't like the gimmick.
Oh yeah, I think the worst part is he's believing in the gimmick more than the fact of it. Like, oh, this is prestigious. It's the first one in 5 years, dumbass. But it was like, oh, I won this thing. Yeah, cool. I'm better than it. Yeah. Instantly, the King of the Ring got you over in that more than being the king will get you over.
But there's several different scenarios, different people that as soon as they got on top, or not long after they got on top, they totally tanked for one reason or the other. Kofi Kingston, to me, the biggest.
Oh, poor Kofi though. I think he deserved it better.
Exactly. I mean, yes, he could have had better, stories and stuff, but it wasn't that bad. People turned on him easy. Talked about how his just. Everything right now, the most recent example is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and I think if they get rid of the red shit, it'd be fine. But obviously
there's ways to fix it. Yeah,
I don't think they turned on Kofi. I just don't think they gave him very good storyline, so people just didn't care. But I don't remember anybody shitting on Kofi directly.
I seen again. This is stuff I seen, in the Twitterverse or on Facebook, and I know a lot of people out there, and I agree. I wish I could ignore a lot of that stuff, but when I'm trying to, go out there and tweet about wrestling stuff, and every post is toxic as fuck. There was one. post where I did a little example in Discord. I posted a picture of one of the tweets with it was who is going to win the Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. I think that's what the tweet was. Okay. And I said, what do you guys think the first 3 comments were? And they're like, oh, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And then I went, nope, I linked them. All 3 of them were bullshit, toxic, AEW's the best, AEW's better than WWE, WWE's fucking terrible, all that shit. That's every post now, it seems.
Yeah, but I think you're focusing too much on social media. I'm talking about, like, during his run, I never really heard people booing Kofi when he had matches. A lot of times they were indifferent because, again, the stories I don't think were very interesting. But the actual matches, he seemed they were either indifferent or they would cheer him for the most part, especially like towards the end of the matches.
I think the idea though the Bomber is talking about the social media part of it because I've literally seen tweets where WWE is promoting Becky leading up to Survivor Series, and there's 5 or 6 below it. They're talking about Becky sucks, fire her.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the commonality welcome to our current society. Everything is everybody shits on everything. You can either ignore them, ignore the noise.
But that's Bomber's point. That's what I'm saying. Like that's his point. Like, oh god, how is that?
You'd be better off doing what I do and just ignore it.
But that's
what I do.
It's so difficult to be active in the wrestling community and ignore it is what I'm saying. Obviously, if I didn't give a fuck and I didn't want to try to promote and try to do all this different kind of stuff on Twitter and everything with wrestling stuff, of course I could ignore it. But I'm always going in there trying to clicking on the comments, want to comment, and it's just it's almost impossible to ignore. I would love to. I would definitely love to.
I just think I think the reactions on TV mean a hell of a lot more than the reactions of some fucking smarks, living in their
agree.
Like, come on.
I think the frustration with Bomber too is like, how do people say fire Becky when you clearly see how over she is? She's no good though.
And that's just a ludicrous statement.
How blind are you to
I agree.
that?
That would be like having a fucking party in your hotel and then having nobody but one female show up. That would be you just wouldn't want to do that.
There it is.
That would just be creepy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
here we go, by the way. From UrbanDictionary.com, top definition for balls of Jericho.
Wait, what?
The balls of Jericho is a sex act of biblical proportion. A man squats over a woman, facing her feet, and inserts his penis in her mouth. He simultaneously places his scrotum over her nose, preventing her from breathing.
Oh my god.
And then the quote, using this in a sentence, only one punishment will suffice. She must endure the balls of Jericho.
Oh no, poor Kylie, I'm so sorry.
See what you did?
There's no way that it wasn't created here. Someone else thought of that before, and that's
obviously. Wow.
Oh,
well,
my
there we go,
God.
guys. I think that is the perfect way to end our Thanksgiving episode.
Time to give you a lot of the bubbly.
Yes.
Come on, that's got to be the title of the episode too, right? Balls of Jericho. Come on.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
This is called Balls of Jericho.
You got it. Hey, shout out to that JT Savage that brought that up in the chat. There you go. You got our episode name for the night.
I love that it's a real thing.
There it is. So there it is, guys. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I guess Lee and Scott, you guys don't. You have a different Thanksgiving, right? You guys. Do
Thanksgiving's over. I don't know what you guys are doing for November.
Yeah.
Ours is bullshit. Don't worry about it. We killed a bunch of innocent Native Americans, and now we eat turkey.
Hey,
We did the same.
Hey,
Yeah, same. Yeah, we just do it earlier.
Yeah, they just did it before we did, I guess, or on a or on a different day. So
we started it later, but we just do it earlier, so it's all.
Yeah, so
It's just whenever the murder happened, though. That's pretty much what we're celebrating.
Hey, you be thankful for that murder, Matt Zion, because if not, we wouldn't
be here without it.
Exactly. No telling what we would be or where we'd be.
Get off my land, Native Americans.
Well, I wouldn't. Okay, there we go. And we're getting out of here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Jabba Radio. See ya.
Die, Dory, die. The year's getting close to an end here.
Poor Dory.